Eritrea, to the east, to the western coast, Gambia, it is on fire. But the fire begins from Nigeria. What are your comments?
Dr. Masanga, that is a very good question, and the subject is so key to me. The Saharan region, Dr. Masanga, when you look at it, there's a lot of insecurity. Terrorism operates around that period. The Boko Haram, that's where they are hiding. They are moving around those countries, Dr. Masanga, and they have extended to Nigeria, and they have destabilized that country, Dr. Masanga. And the leadership of Nigeria, which is not focused, which are fighting the side, so especially when the people of Biafra want to have their state, the IPOB people. And it's very unfortunate, Dr. Masanga, that the IPOB people, when they are supposed to be back in their country to develop their country, they are scattered all over the world, and which is a very unfortunate thing. So as we continue advancing this conversation, Dr. Masanga, we have once and even and again said that the African Union is dead. They have got a full-fledged department which talks about peace and security, and that's where I appeal to our President Mugai Kenyatta, as he wants to leave a legacy in Kenya, that he should commence a serious conversation and an engagement, Dr. Masanga. They should be in these forums where we are trying to say that all is not well in the continent of Africa, Dr. Masanga. So in the Saharan region, Dr. Masanga, I don't know what the desk of African Union in Africa Union is doing. I don't know whether the ECOWAS have got a strategy, Dr. Masanga, on how they want to combat the insecurity in this region, Dr. Masanga. I don't know what the Maghreb countries are trying to do, Dr. Masanga. I don't know what even East Africa and even the Comesa region, Dr. Masanga, what they're trying to do, Dr. Masanga. And if we don't make noise, Dr. Masanga, and it's high time, Dr. Masanga, I have said that we should come up with a Pan-African forum or agenda like the one we have, which actually gives solutions to the problems of insecurity facing the continent of Africa, especially the Saharan region, Dr. Masanga. In the morning, we were focusing about the threats of peace at the horn of Africa, East Africa, and Central Africa, Dr. Masanga. Africa will never be safe, Dr. Masanga, if any of the region is not safe, Dr. Masanga. And that's where the African leaders with Dr. Masanga, we keep on talking about sustainable development, Dr. Masanga. And sustainable development number 16, which talks about peace, justice, and democracy, Dr. Masanga. Do you see it? Do we just go to United Nations, Dr. Masanga, and the solutions are passed, and then we become small boys, Dr. Masanga? So the United Nations, be it as it may, Dr. Masanga, there is much which needs to be done in the continent of Africa. We are not going to see, Dr. Masanga. The only thing that we are going to pass the next generation, Dr. Masanga, if we are afraid to take care of the environment and the climate change is causing havoc, Dr. Masanga, and people don't even have food, don't have water. The effects of climate change, Dr. Masanga, let us have the continent which is safe and secure, Dr. Masanga, where people are able, Dr. Masanga, to fend and move. So the leadership of the African continent, Dr. Masanga, it is not a request. We demand that the people of Africa need peace and security so that they can move on with their lives to develop the continent. I submit.
Thank you very much, Professor. You have talked and talked over this subject for a long time. And I'm very happy that you have summarized it in the terms. And we have talked about this. The Dubai Mike Onocha has told us the plight of the people of Biafra. They continue to be subjected under the terror of Buhari's regime. They continue to yearn for freedom, which they might never get, but they will struggle on. They continue to find out why the world is silent? Why America? The world is silent because the oil is pumped in ships and it is going. The world is silent because Nigeria is a dumping place. The world is silent because the corrupt leadership of Nigeria is banking billions and billions of dollars into accounts in Europe and America. And they use this money to fight wars like in Afghanistan, Iraq. When the money is on account, it generates interest. Remember, there was a list of Nigerians who were banking outside billions of dollars, while hospitals are not available in Nigeria, schools are very poor, roads are in potholes deeper than a crater on Mount Kilimanjaro. These are some of the problems that create conflict in the Sahel region. Marginalization of the people in Nigeria, or Biafra, giving them no voice, no room, but only the room to seek for alternative constitutional means. Mike, it is your turn now to bring us to perspective. What did you want the world to do? What do you want us to tell the world? We have sung the song. We have delivered our messages. What can we do that the world must hear? You have been told the AU is dead. It's as dead as possible. I can see President Uhuru Kenyatta has just appointed, actually nominated the Minister of Defense, Monica Juma, to become the Secretary General of the Commonwealth. That's breaking news just coming in right now from State House in Nairobi. Good luck. Hey, good luck. And I thank the people of Commonwealth that is exactly what time has come for people. The Commonwealth Conference will be taking place in London sometime in October. And there will be quite a lot of lobby that will take place. And this is the time when people need friends. There are people there who have not been friendly. So we need all the friends in the Commonwealth. So there you are, Mr. Onyocha. How are you? Tell us more.
Right.
What do you want us to say? What do you want? The plight of the people. At least you are in Dubai. You have a briefing space to talk. The people in Onitsha, the people in Enugu, the people in the other parts of Biafra have no say. Take it away, my brother.
Thank you very much, Dr. Masanga. Now, first of all, I do agree with you. You say that the United Nations is dead. I couldn't agree more.
And African Union.
Yes, African Union. Sorry about that. Now, I want to go to United Nations, Article 1, which speaks about self-determination, which is the umbrella that Mazi, Nnamdi, Kanu, and IPOB is operating. Now, the principle of self-determination is properly embodied in Article 1 of the Charter of the United Nations. All people have the right to self-determination. By virtue of that right, they freely determine the political status and freely pursue their economic and social and cultural development. It is in Article 1 of the United Nations. So what we are doing is not criminal. And there is no reason why we should be labeled terrorists because we are pursuing our self-determination. Now, when you talk about referendum is a mechanism that is built, it is inbuilt in every democracy, every true democracy. Why is referendum inbuilt? It is inbuilt in a situation like this, like the case of Nigeria, when there is a problem whereby you don't know what the masses are saying, you put it to a test. You go to the poll, not just only for self-determination. You go for referendum when you want to change the constitution. You go for referendum when you want to change a statute in the legislature or even in the constitution. So when it comes to the issue of self-determination, the only test to determine whether What we are saying as IPOB is nonsense, is to go through a referendum. Let's put it to the test. If the majority of the people say, no, we don't want Biafra, we want to remain in Nigeria. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have said it here, even in your show, everywhere, that he will pack his bags and go home. If the people of Biafra say, we don't want Biafra, we want to remain in Nigeria, we are not going to fight. We are not going to struggle. We will pack our bags and go home. Why are you afraid of calling on a referendum? Now, they say they don't negotiate, but they've appointed a man, Sheikh Gumi. I don't know if you've heard about this man. His name is Sheikh Gumi. He goes to the bush and negotiates with Boko Haram. He goes to the bush and negotiates with terrorists. But when you talk about IPOB, they don't want to negotiate with IPOB. They only want to do what? Kill them. Because remember, Buhari fought the civil war. The hatred he has for Biafran people, the hatred he has for our fathers is still there, is still alive. And that is why Buhari doesn't want to hear about Biafra. Now, if he is a good president, obviously I don't know if the man there is Buhari, but whoever he is, should have called for a referendum to determine what is the problem and how do we, deal with that. So what we are asking as Biafrans is very simple. Put it to the test. I don't know why Britain will give referendum to Scotland. Britain is willing to give referendum to Ireland, to all the people around them. But when it comes to the issue of Biafra, Britain turned a deaf ears. I don't know. Are they telling us that the referendum is not good for a black man? Are they telling us that an African does not have right to a self-determination? Is referendum only good for the British, Scotland, and all the rest of the world, the Europeans, and all other parts of the world? But when it comes to Africa, they don't think we are human enough to go through a referendum. So all we are asking as Biafran is very simple. This is our life. This is our destiny. And the Article number 1 of the United Nations has given us the authority to demand for a referendum, to demand for self-determination. And that is what we are asking. We're not asking for too much. And ever since we started this agitation, it has been peaceful. Why is it peaceful? Let me tell you, most of the people that are following Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, we are all educated people. We are all university graduates. I am a forensic investigator by profession. I practice in forensics. I am studying law at the moment. I'm in my final year as a law student. So we are not, they call us, what did they call us? They call us one name, that we are useless people, we are jobless, we don't know what we are doing. That's why we are doing what we are doing. But that is not correct. So what we are asking the world is to listen to Biafran people, because we are dying every day. Biafra is the only place on this planet Earth that a governor of a state goes and drop a bomb in his own state and kill people. Because nobody hears it, nobody speaks for us. As long as the oil in Biafra land continue to flow, Biafrans can die for all they care. Now, if you will permit me, I want to touch again on the issue of our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because I will not do justice if I finish here and I did not talk about my supreme leader, a man who has sacrificed everything, a man who have lost his parents, a man who escaped death on numerous occasions because he wants freedom for his people. He is still the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. All right, now you talked about a fair trial. I don't even think we have gotten to the point of a trial yet, because what happened is illegal. What we should be talking about now is taking Mazi Nnamdi Kanu back to Kenya, where they took him from. Because as I'm talking to you now, in the eyes of the law, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still in Kenya, because extraordinary rendition is a crime against humanity. Extraordinary rendition is a transfer without legal process of a detainee to the custody of a foreign government for purposes of detention and interrogation. The program was intended to protect America. It is not meant for Africa. That program came about during the 9/11. That's when they used this extraordinary rendition to torture prisoners and get them to talk. So why would they do that to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Now, in both instances, interrogation methods are employed that do not conform with federal and international recognized standards. This program is commonly known as extraordinary rendition. The Department of Justice arguments notwithstanding, the extraordinary rendition program is illegal. So if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was abducted illegally, why must he go to court? He cannot go to court because the process is flawed. In order for you to take an accused person to court, starting from his arrest, it has to be legal. Now, if you have broken that protocol, if you have broken international law and treaties and conventions in order to abduct a man, you have lost the jurisdiction to try him. So what we are saying, let's have a trial within trial and discuss about the abduction of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because that's what you have to do. In court, that's what you call chain of evidence. If the way you went about obtaining your evidence is illegal, it will be inadmissible in a court of law. So Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have no case to answer. First of all, we have to deal with the case of process. The process leading to his abduction is illegal, and for that matter, he should be released unconditionally. And that is what we are saying. Even United Nations agrees with me about extraordinary rendition. They say that it is a crime against humanity, and it cannot stand. So Nigeria has broken all international law. Kenyan government has broken all international laws and treaty, and they should face the music, and they should release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu on technicality. So these are my submissions, Dr. Masanga.
Wow, thank you very much. I think in this one now I bring Kenyan here.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mike. You have opened up something on international law, something that I started very many years ago. But thank you for reminding me on the question of rendition. And this one is very, very interesting. So the only man who can solve me this equation is Professor Nyari. Before I come to Dr. Jeff Kalui, Professor Nyari, technically, Nnamdi Kanu is in Kenya. You see how complicated the situation is? Are you hearing me?
I'm getting you. I'm waiting to respond.
You don't, because the way your face, the way you are showing me looks like you.
Yeah, I'm in the morning, Dr. Masanga.
Yes, I didn't know that bit.
Yeah.
Now I've just learned it. I am shivering because, not shivering, because the international law is very clear. So tell us, Prof.
Dr. Masanga, I want to invoke Articles 13, 14, 15 of the Universal Declaration of the Human Rights. And I've said everyone has got a right to freedom of movement and residence within the border state of each state. Everyone has a right to live in country, including his own, and to return to his country. Article 14 says everyone has a right to seek and enjoy in other countries asylum from persecution. This right may not be invoked in the case of the prosecution generally arising from non-political crimes or from contrary to the purposes of the principle of the United Nations. Dr. Masanga, even if I don't go in and in, this is a violation. Kenya has violated the international law. And my brother, comrade, we need to have all the necessary details so that we work together, Dr. Comrade, and as comrade, we know that an injury to one is injury to all. Africa will never be saved, my brother, until Biafra, Western Sahara, people are able to determine self-determination on how they want to govern themselves. And let me assure you, and I want to say this without fear of contradiction, when people want something, you cannot stop them. It is just a matter of time. They can go, they can kill, but we are focused, Dr. Masanga. And what we need to do, we need to condemn the government of Kenya. They need not to do that. And what they need to do, Dr. Masanga, they need to go to Biafra and see what is happening, the kind of brutal, the way people are being persecuted. You cannot allow someone to go and be persecuted. This is not a banana republic, Dr. Masanga. So this we need to get details, and what we need to do, we can use advocates. And what we have said technically, if the man was taken out, was moved from this country to his country to be tried, the law has been violated. The guy will need to be acquitted, and we need to go on international relations and international advocates until to have this anomaly corrected. Kenya on this one has squandered on this one. In fact, if it has happened in the watch of President Uhuru Mugai Kenyatta, it is unfortunate. And I want to believe it is Andras which can do that, because President Uhuru Mugai Kenyatta, Dr. Masanga, has stood with the people of Western Sahara. I don't see the situation in Western Sahara and the situation in Biafra is not different. People are asking for a referendum, Dr. Masanga. Is it a crime to ask people to come? They assemble themselves, they go to vote. What is it that they fear? What if the people of Biafra will go and vote that they want to be part of the Nigeria? Give people the opportunity, Dr. Masanga. That's how we can take the continent forward. My brother, our comrade has raised a fundamental question, Dr. Masanga. Other citizens from other countries, be it Europe, be it America, or other places, they are given an opportunity to go for a referendum. Why is it that when African people are asking for a referendum, it becomes like this, as if it is a favor? We want the people of the Abasona, we want the people of Biafra, we want the people of Western Sahara, Dr. Masanga, and other people want to exercise the articles, the statutes of the international law, Dr. Masanga, be given that opportunity. And we are not going to sit. My brothers, comrades, let me just give you this. In 1922, at around the Central Police of Nairobi, Dr. Masanga, the whites who were colonial masters, Dr. Masanga, were arresting our people. Until one woman came and found a police trying to dress this one. She said, "Men, are there men here?" She went full strong and threw that man down, Dr. Masanga. Time for talking, Dr. Masanga, is over. We need to take action. I submit.
Oh my God. Today, the gloves seem to be off. Thank you very much, Professor Onyari. I come back to Daniel Wesonga, then come to Dr. Kalui. Daniel Wesonga, your view on the question of international law and international rendition. What does it say? I know of Geneva Convention, 1954 Geneva Convention, that gives any asylum, any refugee the right to exist as a human being under the condition on the state where he has landed. So this is where we are now. Daniel Wesonga.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Masanga David. And of course, now speaking after Professor Jared Onyari, I believe he has really exhausted the field. But I'll have this to add on what he has said, that the people of Biafra deserve to have today being a day where the world is commemorating a day where people have been kidnapped. It brings to our attention that this is a man who was actually allegedly kidnapped from Kenya together with the Nigerian authorities. And the questions we have to ask, was it actually really fair for this to happen to a man who is not maybe a terrorist? This was only a person who was advancing the agenda of his people, people who have been over the years killed and butchered, whose women have been defiled and their property destroyed by the successive regimes in Nigeria, and the latest being the Fulani, the dominated regime of President Buhari. And therefore, I think it is against the international law to abduct a man in such a way like they did to Comrade Nnamdi Kanu and take him to, don't know, a dungeon somewhere in Nigeria. They haven't communicated where he is, but I think it was against the international law. And of course, I believe later on the law will catch up with the regime of President Muhammadu Buhari, who are advancing these atrocities. Just the other day, they had a killer unit in their security teams, which was actually killing young men on the streets of Nigeria, and these actually raised concern amongst the international community. Why has the arrest and abduction of Nnamdi Kanu not raised any concern? Why is the international community not talking about this? Because if we allow these presidents to take root in Nigeria, soon enough we're going to be seeing every legitimate leader who tries to raise their voice against the leadership, the failed leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari, being purged in a very, very serious way. Whereas we expect him to be not actually fighting the people of Biafra and the leadership of the Igbo people, but we expect Muhammadu Buhari to do and work on whatever promises he made to the people of Nigeria. I remember when he came into power, he promised the people of Nigeria to eradicate the problem of Boko Haram, who are actually destabilizing the country from the north within first 100 days. 4 years later, more than 4 years later, we do not have anything close to actually annihilating the Boko Haram menace. In fact, just a week ago, hundreds of school-going children were abducted by the same armed group. And that begs the question, is it that now the government, the Fulani government of President Muhammadu Buhari, is it sympathizing with Boko Haram? Are they working with the northern Muslim groupings, which are actually inflicting pain and atrocities on the people of Nigeria? Why are they focusing more on the Igbo people who have been actually been fighting for their own self-determination, a cause which is actually recognized in the UN Convention? And therefore, I think, Dr. Masanga, for the government of Nigeria, it is out of priorities, it is out of order, and against the international laws when it does such, it makes such decisions of arresting a man, kidnapping him away from his family, away from his people. It is actually denying him a chance to represent the views that anyone across the globe will actually hold in the behest of his people. And therefore, I think we should all stand up and be able to advocate for the release, unconditional release of Nnamdi Kanu. And these calls for the international community condemnation, we need as Africa to condemn such atrocities by the government of President Muhammadu Buhari. This is a failed government. It's a government which is being run like a mafia together with his Fulani herdsmen. We have seen him actually infiltrating the military and making sure that it is a lopsided military in that Northerners are more than any other people who are in Nigeria. And therefore, that tells you that this is a man who is not interested in actually assisting the people of Nigeria to arise from the ravages of economic banditry. But he's a man who is actually interested in consolidating power around himself and his kinsmen. And therefore, this is a dangerous man who should be kicked out of power in the soonest time possible. I submit, Dr. Matsanga.
Thank you very much. All of you have done rounds. Let me now see, as you prepare your parting shots, let me see Dr. Jeff Karui. Dr. Jeff Karui. Dr. Jeff Karui. Well, Dr. Jeff Karui is online, but he must be on attending to a class. Or let me come to our parting shots. Let me begin with Professor Gerard Onyari. I will end with our guest today, Michael I. Onocha. But let me begin with Professor Onyari. I can see Douglas Krimi connecting. In the last moment, he can't meet this Nigerian. Oh, Dr. Jeff Karui, I was going to go away. But let me now give you this chance. Rendition.
Yes.
Technically, my good brother from Nigeria, from Biafra, has just said, technically, Mr. Nnamdi Kanu is still in Kenya. You know more about international law.
Yeah.
You are yourself, you have lived in the United States of America for more than 30 years.
Yes, about 30 years, yeah.
Yes, some of us have lived in the United Kingdom 37 years.
Okay.
And
Very good. Mhm.
yeah, honestly, we have seen quite a lot of laws. It is very interesting. Tell
Yes.
us more about this.
And about this, which is specific this?
Well, about international law and the rendition, the taking of people by picking people from one area to another without the Buhari government actually kidnapped someone.
Yes. So we definitely, and first of all, let me just make the first statement that it is not acceptable. And the government of Buhari cannot allow that to continue because it only fuels the continuous revenge from one group to the other. It is actually a large scale which can happen just from the way gangsters happen. When you do something or cut or rustlers, you get something from the cows, the next 10 days they come and steal them back, or they come and steal yours. That is very similar. When there something called revenge. Revenge usually goes or rolls down to a full-scale civil war. And your statement about Nigeria can easily be lost is because of this kind of thing. Because there has to be the rule of the law where someone does something they are not supposed to do, they are supposed to be punished without fear or favor, unless you are supporting one group or you're supporting the one gang or the other. So it is definitely not acceptable. And Nigeria right now, where it is, there needs to be immediate referendum, like we have said. The African countries, and one of the doctors or a good guest of yours has very emotionally said that African governments cannot be allowed to reject referendums because referendum is a way of reconciliation by itself. So in every other country that includes like that they have refused referendum or they have refused the will of the people, like Central African Republic, and I'm talking of even other countries like the Libya, where we take a good example. Now Libya as like small countries within its country where they have been led to do whatever they want. If people came together and decided this is what we want in terms of referendum, and that is where everybody will go in terms of the will of the people, then all the people will go in one side, whether they agree or disagree. So referendum in Nigeria is first and the most fundamental thing that needs to be considered. And, I am asking, I have not less than 10 or 15 students of mine who have gone back to be kings, members of parliament. If they are hearing this, they should take it on. And their professors recommended that a referendum is necessary in Nigeria. Now, one of the big problems, there are other problems apart from just general conflict, which are fueled by climate change. They are fueled by lack of grass and lack of, ownership of land. Land has been a part of Sahel problem. So those things needs to be factored. It's not just a conflict among tribes or among groups. It is a competition for resources. So that means there needs to be an economic approach as well to see how they resolve it. We have always lived with economies that we know it. If you are a herds person, you always become a herds person. There are alternatives to current African economic structures like herds, cows, grasslands. If there's no grass, would you just say you wouldn't do anything else? We need to start tilting to look at the root of the problem. What is causing all this competition of resources? Are there alternatives? So they need to look and build structures that, or mentality or mindset that it doesn't have to be the grasslands. It doesn't have to be just cow herding or tribal conflict. So referendum is very important, but also we need to do civic education about the right things. And especially when it comes to the youth, there is no way Africa, most of the population, maybe 80% is under 18 years old. You cannot, Africa will be run over by the current youth population because you can't stop this kind of population. So it needs to be stopped now. By 2030, Africa will be what we teach the young people right now, because they're gonna totally take over. The CSs or the cabinet secretaries, they will be 19, 20, 21 years old or 25 years old by 2030. That's the population they have, and that's what they got. So it shows the urgent or the sense of fierceness and urgency of now that is needed to resolve the matter of African. And I would like to see the African presidents heap up or pile on Nigeria, because Nigeria, when it goes wrong, a lot of things go wrong in Africa. So referendum, and that should be across the board in Africa as well. So maybe we need to revisit, even if it's not a referendum today for Kenya. Maybe, you know, referendum is not about just the elections of Kenya 2022. But if the referendum is right, it is right. It doesn't matter where it is done, how it is done, and when it is done. So the idea, no referendum now or the other day, should be, referendum should be allowed. So let's say it's not now, but then they can also restructure and say referendum, yes, but when? So that's my position in terms of letting the people, the will of the people, rule the day.
Thank you very much. Don't go away, but Douglas Creamy, the man who has fought together with us on our panel, day and night, to make sure that the referendum, Biafrans are given freedom. Douglas Creamy.
I have a meeting coming in 5 minutes, so I may have to leave, but then I will join if I finish that.
No, your parting shot.
Yeah, my parting shot is that I thank everybody. My name is Dr. Jeff Kaluyu. I am looking forward to engaging more. And
are you standing for presidency in 2022 in Kenya? Yes or no?
Affirmatively, yes, yes, and yes. So I'm looking forward for a fierce fight. And I feel in the entire field, I am the only candidate who can speak economics. I'm the person who can speak virus, post-economic, post-COVID economics. I have the economics, I have the health, and no one else can be able to speak that language. So I'm the most appropriate candidate for the Republic of Kenya as the president today. So I'm looking forward for the support and aggressive fight on that.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. To be 2022, at
100%.
At least we are not looking at a thief who has stolen. We are looking at a man who has never stolen anybody's penny. So thank you very much. But don't become like a Buhari when you take over.
No. Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye, my good friend. You better advertise yourself on this television.
Thank
Douglas
you so much.
Creamy.
I will. Yes.
Douglas Creamy. My friend, the ground is yours now. Douglas.
Thank you, Doctor, and thank you for having me today. You may bring me up to speed as we conclude on.
It is the question of Biafra. Sahel region is burning. Nigeria is sinking. Biafra wants its independence. A referendum. Nnamdi Kanu, technically still in Kenya. Have you seen the summary of an editor?
Thank you, Doctor. And the most important thing for us to realize is that the people of Biafra should be granted a referendum. They should be given an opportunity to be able to secede, an opportunity to be able to have their own republic. A time has come for us to be able to not continue the conversation. The federal government of Nigeria, as you know it, a time has come for the people, the indigenous peoples of Biafra, to be given an opportunity, a voice, so that they can be able to determine their own future. Dr. David Masanga. Remember, the people of the indigenous people of Biafra are not in the corrective system that we call the federal government of Nigeria by choice. They were forced by colonialists and other people who didn't want the indigenous people of Biafra to continue their own independence and their own country. They want to continue taking them for granted and also not listening to them. I think a time has also come for us as a Committee of Nations come together and they demand the release of Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of indigenous peoples of Biafra. Again, Dr. David Masanga, we cannot be able to run a country like Caucasian the way Nigeria is being run today. Fulanians men have been running havoc into Nigeria. School-going children and women are being kidnapped daily. We cannot be able to run a country like that. Extremists are more powerful than governments in Western African countries, especially Nigeria. The Fulanians men are more powerful than Buhari. Buhari can only speak through his media heads, cannot be able to speak about the security issue in his own country. Buhari has refused to continue. Muhammadu Buhari, General Muhammadu Buhari has refused to continue assuring Nigerians of peace because he himself has given up to fate and God to rescue his own country. As a commander-in-chief, we cannot wait for you in 2023 to retire. Please do the honorable thing, resign from government and go away, because at the end of the day, the people of Nigeria are tired. The people in the Sahel region continue suffering threats on their security, threat on their peace, because even Nigeria itself, that is supposed to be a leader in the Sahel region, they continue suffering under the evil hands of Boko Haram, Fulanians men, and these elements have been able to run to red Nigeria ungovernable in terms of the economy, in terms of their social well-being, and in terms of their political landscape. Nigerian issue, Dr. Masanga, is a thorn in the flesh of the people of Nigeria and West African region or the Sahel region at large, and with the people of Africa. We continue standing with the brothers and sisters in Nigeria, but President Muhammadu Buhari has continued disregarding the very rights of the people that have voted for him twice, and continues disregarding the very essence of the Nigerian constitution and the very essence of the Nigerian flag and soil. Why is Muhammadu Buhari taking Nigerians for granted? A time has come for us to be able to realize, Dr. David Masanga, that a time has come for us as the people of African descent to be able to speak in one voice.
Or you got cut off. You got cut off.
And speak on the issue in Nigeria, and especially the Sahel region that is
we are still waiting for you.
Thank you, Dr. Mia. My point was, in cognizance of the role that Nigeria continues to play in Committee of Nations, we cannot be able to afford to lose Nigeria as we know it. And as the people of Africa, we continue standing with the people of Nigeria and continue standing with the very essence of our unity as brothers and sisters all over the world. We continue speaking for Nigeria, and we shall continue speaking for the peoples, indigenous peoples of Biafra, who would want to secede, who would want to be able to have their own republic, Dr. David Masanga. I do not understand why many years later, the world does not listen to the cries of the people of indigenous peoples of Biafra, who should be listened to and whose voice should be amplified, even when we do not think that it is convenient for us to do so. We need to be able to stand with the indigenous peoples of Biafra, and we need to be able to tell each other the truth as countries that love Nigeria, as countries that love peace in Africa. We should be able to grant the indigenous people of Biafra a voice to be able to amplify themselves, to be able to speak to the world. The world needs to come to the rescue of the indigenous peoples of Biafra. Dr. David Masanga, it pains me to realize that only a handful of people, media stations like yourself, who have given space to the indigenous people of Biafra to be able to hire their own issues and grievances. People and also media houses across Africa, Dr. David Masanga, continue hiding away from the issues that we continue facing from the indigenous people of Biafra. These are people who have continued to suffer under the FINRO arrangement that is in Nigeria today. We need to be able to restructure, and we need to give them a voice. It also saddens my heart to realize that if a person like Dr. David Masanga gives an opportunity to Biafrans to be able to speak, people that do not even pay him, they continue insulting and also continue thinking that Dr. David Masanga owns the whole world. He only owns media stations that have given them a space and a voice. And I would also ask the people of Biafra to respect Dr. David Masanga and his media houses. He has given you a voice in London. He has given you a voice in Germany. He's given you a voice across the nations of the world, and especially here at Punchline Africa. He has given you a voice to amplify your independence, to amplify a referendum, so that you can be able to determine your own future. You should be able to give Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and Dr. David Masanga the respect that he deserves. When you continue asking Dr. David Masanga to intervene on your affairs, the only thing he can do is to give you a voice, to help you and also bring us on board so that we can help you speak for yourselves, so that you can be able to grow and also have an opportunity to be able to be granted your own freedom and your own independence as the people, indigenous peoples of Biafra. There's nothing more Dr. David Masanga can do. He has invested millions of dollars to help his media stations run and also bring you to speed so that the world can be able to see what is happening in Nigeria. We need to be able to tell the world the truth, that Dr. David Masanga does not owe you anything else. He has done anything humanly possible. He has spoken, given his voice over the same. You can be able to go back to history, and history is going to be kind to him and his organizations because he has been able to give you a voice. And we continue on the same vein like Dr. David Masanga, that you, the indigenous people of Biafra, should be granted a referendum. And if it is not a referendum, you secede completely from the FINRO arrangement of Nigeria that is there today. There should be a restructuring in Nigeria so that the people, indigenous peoples of Biafra, can have their own voice and they can be able to speak in unison and be able to build their own Biafra Republic. Thank you, Dr. David Masanga, and thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you very much, Douglas, with those compliments. Thank you very much for saying so. We have done our best and continue to do our best. 6 years ago, I started this matter defending the Biafran people. I have never asked anybody in Biafra to come to my aid or to pay even 1 inch, 1 penny of airtime. I still continue to do so until I keep quiet when God calls me. But I will not surrender to Buhari's machinations and the crude methods of dealing with opposition with a country that is collapsing. I will not. As an African scholar, I will speak my mind out and stand for the truth. It will set me free one day. Professor Nyari, just a comment.
Dr. Masanga, as I've said that Africa has got work to be done. We can't run away from it. I've quickly gone through what our comrade Onuja was trying to say, Mike. And I found to say that Nnamdi Kanu, his rights have been violated. Kenya is a signatory and has ratified African Charter. Nigeria has done the same. I'm happy that Kanu has advised his lawyers are working on it. So what we need to do is that Dr. Masanga, we need to team up. We can't allow these African dictators, Dr. Masanga, to take Africa as if they own Africa. They cannot, and I want to thank you sincerely that you have done Africa great, because Dr. Masanga, you have given us a voice. We are speaking things as they are. We can't allow the continent of Africa, Dr. Masanga, when I talk what African leaders have done to African people. Dr. Masanga, we cannot go to the West with all our education, Dr. Masanga, to be watchmen when Africa has got all the resources, which is enough for all of us. We are not going to allow Buhari and his cohort, Dr. Masanga. On this one, we have to follow to the logical conclusion, and this work for in the continent of Africa must be done. I want to thank our fellow panelists. Thank you. Thank our comrade Douglas, Daniel, the continent of Africa was rescued by the young people. So when we are in the safe hands of Dr. Masanga, comrades, we are not going to ever neither to look back, but to soldier on. People who changed their countries, who changed their continents, were not the mighty people. They are just individuals. Dr. Masanga, let us continue having this stone which has started roaring. It will continue gathering the momentum. And I know God is with us. We are going to succeed. We are going to succeed. Africa is rising. It will rise again and we'll make it. The spirit is there, Dr. Masanga.
Thank you very much, Professor Gerard Onyari, a conflict resolution mediator, speaker, inspirational speaker, a man who says it as it is, a man who studied international law, international mechanisms. Thank you very much. Daniel Wesonga, just 1 minute, under 1 minute, your parting shot. Then I come to our guest of tonight.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Masanga David. And of course, our clarion call and our banner still remains that President Muhammadu Buhari should exit power and give the rest of Nigeria, not only the Igbo people, the Biafrans, the freedom to govern their destiny, but the entire Nigeria, because his leadership has failed the people of Nigeria big time. And to the people of Biafra, I say unto them that aluta continua. We have to continue with the struggle, even in the absence of the leader, Nnamdi Kanu. They have to keep up the spirit. In the end, I believe salvation shall be able to come through their own struggle. It has been a very, very long struggle, and therefore there's no any point of backing out at this particular time. And to the international community, the African Union, and all the African member states and leaders, it is a time we stood up and raised our voices to ensure that the Nigerian regime releases the Biafran leader Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally, so that he can continue with whatever they are doing. They can always negotiate. We always have a very, very good platform which can be set so that they can be able to talk and be able to solve this kind of stalemate. But by arresting him and kidnapping him, they are only deteriorating the already destroyed relations between the Igbo people and the leadership of President Buhari. I submit.
Thank you very much, Daniel Sean Wesonga. World watches while Biafra, the Biafrans are being killed. The world watches, the AU is watching the slaughter in Enugu, Onitsha, Port Harcourt, Lagos, all the southeastern states. There is bloodshed. My brother Mike Onocha from Dubai, under 2 to 3 minutes, bring us the message we should take to the world.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Masanga. First of all, I want to thank you so much. You are 1 in a million for giving us this platform to air our view. I see a similarity between you and our leader, Mazi Kanu. Mazi Kanu does not fight for anybody, anyone. That is one thing about, and you and him have the same similarity. Masanga, Biafrans will never forget. We don't forget those who help us when we are in need. All right, now my parting shot. I want to re-emphasize and I want to maintain, I want to reiterate that technically Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still in Kenya. He is not in Nigeria. And you know what that means. It means that Nigeria has lost jurisdiction to try Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I believe in the rule of law. As a legal student, if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has to go to the Federal Court Abuja to be tried, then that is a violation of his fundamental human rights, and we cannot allow that to happen. we must have what you call trial within trial. In order for us to do what? To talk about this extraordinary rendition, to talk about this violation of his right, because extraordinary rendition violates the Constitution and federal law. Its very purpose is to send people for interrogation to places where in the United States, the rule of law does not apply. And Nigeria, the rule of law does not apply. Because now, Nigeria and Britain, they have a treaty, extradition treaty. So what we are saying is, take Mazi Nnamdi Kanu back to Kenya. Let Kenya apologize and then send him back to the United Kingdom. Then Nigeria can now apply for extradition. Then they will go to court in the United Kingdom. If Nigeria make their case and they win, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be extradited back to Nigeria to stand whatever trial they want him to. That is called rule of law. This is not a Janjaweed Kangaroo court. We must follow the rule of law. So that is what I am maintaining, and that is what I am still saying, that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be taken back, of course, to Kenya, and from Kenya to United Kingdom, because Nigeria does not have jurisdiction. For you to try a case, you must have a jurisdiction. And if you don't have jurisdiction, if you've lost the jurisdiction, then you might as well forget about it. Now, people might hear me talking about Kenya, Kenya. They might say, why are you mentioning Kenya, Kenya? Now, in law, there is what we call conditio sine qua non. Now, what is conditio sine qua non? Conditio sine qua non is very simple. It means that without which not, conditio sine qua non, if Kenya did not compromise with Nigeria, this wouldn't have happened. That is why we keep on mentioning Kenya, Kenya. They're more like an accomplice, and they need to work hard in order for them to clean their name. Because I pity the Kenyan people. They don't want this. This is not the government they voted for. So you cannot drag the name of the good name of the Kenyan people into mud by committing such heinous crime against humanity. Now, finally, before I go, you know, during the Civil War, there was economic blockade. There was media blockade on Biafra, and people were slaughtered in millions, and Britain was enjoying. Now, the difference now is this. We have youth of Biafra who will never give up. These people we are fighting with, their old men, and they will pass away very soon, and the youth will continue, and they will not stop until Biafra is restored. We will not stop until Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is acquitted unconditionally, because he is still in Kenya. Thank you very much, Dr. Masanya, for this great opportunity and privilege. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mike Onocha. Always keep a watch. Take our programs further. We are part and parcel of a struggle that we yearn that one day, and one day alone, the people of Biafra will get the freedom they yearn for. The people of Biafra will be free, will be set free from the hands of Buhari, the regime that has gone down in history as a butcher regime, the butcher of Abuja. Buhari must be brought to accountability. If Africa is to move forward, why should we allow a nation of 250 million people to sink and sink and sink and sink every day? We see that happening. One of the points that you raised that shook me up to now is you said Nigeria is a kidnapping market is very lucrative in Nigeria. Kidnapping market is a market where people are kidnapping others for money. Today is a day for missing people. People who have missed worldwide. Some people wake up of their houses and they don't come back for years and years and years and forever. And when you say Nigeria is a lucrative place for kidnapping, you have even sent my blood very far. I don't know what we can say here, but it is very terrible if this is the type of nation with 7 terrorist groups, 7 terrorist groups from Jania, Iswa, Isagies, AISGS, or Al-Qaeda Maghreb, Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, ESN, all this. My God, may someone come up and help Africa. And unfortunately, the African Union is gone. The Commonwealth will hold the Commonwealth Summit in London. Brother, just read my lips. I will be there. I'm a veteran of Commonwealth. I'm a member, senior member of the Commonwealth Journalists Association. The whole Commonwealth 54 campus. My identities, credentials are with me. I enter any conference on planet Earth as long as it is in Britain. I believe Buhari will come and I will face Buhari in that conference. Let him be prepared to answer my questions. Why he has allowed Nigeria to fall, to sink, to be mutilated, taken, eaten by terrorists. Why? Why he has killed many Biafrans. For every struggle, there is hope. And for every hope, there is always success. If you have hope, you will succeed. Brother Mike, don't give up. Don't lose hope. Success will knock on the door. You can imagine some of us have fought for 37 years. But still, the things that we said are the things that the new people who are coming in the struggle, what they are saying, and which they supported themselves. Now they turn around and they say, oh, Matanga said was right. But here we are, we find ourselves at the cul-de-sac, what the French call a cul-de-sac. The world seems to come to a halt. Africa needs 400 million doses. We are still talking of elections. We need 400 million doses, Mr. Kirimi. But we are still talking of grabbing power in 2022 in Kenya, when we have not even vaccinated more than 2 million people fully. Are we mad? What bewitched Africa? Thank you very much. Chinua Achebe, in his book, The Things Fall Apart, which was a song I like so much, on page 53, he said, perhaps you have been away for too long. Obierika was telling Okonko that perhaps you have been away for too long. The Umofia clan has changed. The white man has brought a bicycle that drinks milk. And guess what followed the sentence, Kirimi? Things have fallen apart. On that note, I end it that way. I know, Daniel, you are smiling behind there, and Kirimi, look at that page. I've never forgotten. You know, I did my O-levels in 1974. Can you believe that? I believe none of you here were born yet. 1994. Douglas. And the rest. I read that book and I passed English literature with a distinction number 2. And it was one of the most interesting books that I wanted to have Even today in my home in London, I have 2 books, two copies. Somebody snatched one, but I kept that one. I read in 19 because there have been new versions. But Chinua Achebe said things have fallen apart. A bicycle drinks milk, white milk. You know what white milk was? Kirimi, do you know what white milk was? White milk is oil. If you mix oil with, if the car bursts the gasket and the water goes into the oil engine, what comes out is white. So when this oil was put on the chain of the bicycle and the water was poured on it, something white came out. And then Obierika said, oh no, you have been away for too long, my brother Okonko. Perhaps go slowly. Things have changed in the Mafia clan. Things have really changed in Nigeria. Buhari has turned on eating his own people and he kills them. As we speak now, more are being shot. Tonight, as we speak, the world must turn its attention on these heinous crimes that are being committed across in the Sahara region. Thank you very much, all of you. God bless you. God give you guidance. This station is for Africa, with Africa, by Africa. Ciao. Ciao.
Get it online on your mobile. This is IPOB Community Radio, Radio Biafra, the first and the last.
All of you, from the head of our DOS, Mazi to the very last unit coordinator, for all the wonderful work that you all did in my enforced absence. You never allowed yourselves to be cowed. You did not allow yourselves to be intimidated. You fought very gallantly to ensure that IPOB remains the preeminent freedom fighting movement anywhere on this very planet Earth. I have a lot to thank all of you for, because you kept the flame burning. We remember those that fell. Every day I remember them, and I hope also that every day all of you must remember them, because they laid down their lives for us, and we must accomplish Biafra for their sake, and the sake of our children, even those who are not born yet. We must remain resolute, very determined, uncompromising and unforgiving in our quest to restore Biafra in truth and in every honesty. I must ask each and every one of you, wherever you are, to search your hearts and to search your souls wherever you are. To understand the essence of IPOB and what we are doing. As I said previously, this is not a broadcast for the whole world, it's just for the IPOB family. Some of us have forgotten what it means to be IPOB. Because during my enforced absence, most of us went astray. Although some people started from when I was in detention, it is very, very important that we keep this very flag flying. That we do not follow the trap set for us by our enemies. Because a lot of things happened whilst I was away. Some people fell by the wayside. Some people felt that perhaps the zoo has something to offer them. And some people collaborated with the enemy, not just to kill us, but to attempt to set the clock of restoration backwards. But thanks to the grace and mercy of the Most High, Chukwukika, they did not succeed. Once again, I welcome each and every one of you, and especially those of you that have been working exceptionally hard to make sure that we stayed on this very course towards our restoration. A lot has happened. When I think about it, sometimes it brings tears to my eyes. Surprisingly and shockingly, not a lot of people were up to this very job, which is rather extremely sad. Being an IPOB is a very unique privilege. A very unique privilege for you to be an IPOB family member. It's a rare honor. When we call each other Umu Chineke or Nwa Chineke, it is a very unique privilege, not an entitlement. Only the pure at heart can be called Nwa Chineke. Not everybody you meet on the street is entitled to be called that very name. IPOB is a very special breed of people. We have come that we may restore Biafra, and there is nothing the zoo and their allies can do about it. We remain the bravest of the very brave. Cowards run away when they see us. From the day I arrived in the zoo exactly 4 years ago, minus 1 week, because I arrived in the zoo on the 14th of October in the year of our Lord 2015. I told them that I was coming, and I came. Some people within some segments of the media were writing a whole lot of junk about us, that we are just on Facebook, that I'm in London. They dared me to come back, and I told them that I was coming home, and I did come home. When I arrived, I was arrested. I was taken to Abuja. I was confined to a very tiny space. I was chained like a common criminal. I was handcuffed. They tried to break me, but they know that that is impossible. They can attest to it. They mocked me that I will rot in jail. Some prayed very fervently, those who are against Biafra, agents of darkness, that I should die in jail. But the walls of prison and detention couldn't keep me. I told Jibril, now, or should I say Buhari, before he died and was buried in Saudi Arabia, that he was a madman. I called him a madman in his own court because I know that he cannot do anything about it. Chukwukika sent me and not man. So there is nothing any human being can do to me or to the wider body of IPOB for that matter. I told the court of Bintan Yako that they cannot jail me, and they did not. I called the dead Buhari, an illiterate madman, in his own court, and I walked away. They mocked me after I came out of prison, even those that I'm older than, even the age mates of my first son, Nemeka. Maybe because of the way I look, they will say, what these young men are doing. Apart from maybe 4 or 5 people in Ohanese, I am older than every other Ohanese executive member. But when you hear them talk about me and IPOB, you will think we're a bunch of teenagers. I don't blame them. They're a product of a dysfunctional system. They gave me very stringent bail conditions. I hope IPOB family members are listening very quietly, because what I have to tell you is extremely important. So you must pay attention. They gave me the bail conditions so that I wouldn't speak, so that I cannot rally, to muzzle me, so that I'll just be in my father's house and then go to court once in a while. The same thing they did to the now estate developer in Owerri. I told them, no, you cannot cage me. You cannot muzzle me. It's not possible. I went out and I defied every stupid restriction placed on my person so that IPOB can be alive and our restoration of Biafra well on course. The powers that be didn't like it. Their Igbo collaborators did not like it. Some of them in government houses did not like it. Ohanese didn't like it because I said no to voting in Anambra. And I have my reasons, and I'll go to that later. Obiano said I shouldn't come to Ekulobia, that he will kill me with the Zoo army. We broke Ekulobia. He said I shouldn't come to Ebonyi. I went to Ebonyi with the longest convoy in history. As I was entering Abakaliki, part of our convoy was still in Enugu. We broke the cordon. 6 fortified military checkpoints. I got down from my vehicle and I walked through all of them. I begged them to shoot me. We went into Abakaliki and we shot Abakaliki down. When we got to the front of the government house, I asked my driver to stop so I can greet some of the people working for Dave Umahi to let them know that Ebonyi is Biafra. After our rally, on my way out of Abakaliki, they stopped me again and asked me to turn around. And I told them that it would not happen. We broke that very cordon too, and we got home safely that very evening. I went to Obibo. In Iguacha. We locked Iguacha down for 6 hours. There was no movement. Yes, and Wike did not ask army to kill me. He never tried to intimidate me nor to molest me. We rallied peacefully as we normally do, and we went back home. Ohanese and the Igbo governors got together and said this cannot continue. That Nnamdi Kanu is heating up the polity. They decided to kill me. It was these men that physically applied to Asarok to have me killed. They couldn't do it. After all, Buhari was dead, buried in Saudi Arabia. When Jibril came back, a lot of Igbo men that call themselves politicians and political leaders arranged for me to be assassinated. They pleaded and pleaded and pleaded. because our 30th of May celebration, our sit at home last year was successful. That led those Alamajiri youths, I don't know where they got them from, to issue a quit notice at the instigation of our Consultative Forum. Our people must listen very carefully. Arewa Consultative Forum pressured Nyawood and Ohaneze and Southeast governors to do something about me. When they talk about me, they don't tell you the truth. I was the one that went to Waldo's house when he was in the USA to look for him, to greet him. I went with Evangelist Elliot Uko. I went back again when he returned, and we had very sumptuous lunch together. And I told him that this is what I stand for. I want Biafra. Because of all the maltreatment, because of all the humiliation, because of all the shame that Nigeria over the years have compelled us to go through as a people, that I cannot take it anymore. I want to be free and I want to die a free man. He asked me, what do I intend to do? And I told him, most respectfully, that I will engage in civil disobedience. I will boycott every boycottable until the zoo accedes to my demand for a referendum. That I won't fight anybody. He said it's okay, but I should consider an umbrella election. I told him no. We've been voting since 1953, if I'm not mistaken. What has come of it? Absolutely nothing. The zoo, as a contraption, instead of going forwards, is always going backwards every blessed year. Things are getting more difficult. Our children are dying in the Mediterranean, they are drowning. Our daughters have nobody to marry them because most of our men, our brothers, our uncles, our cousins are in severe difficulties abroad. Some are in jail, some are struggling. Some will have to marry somebody from that very country where they are domiciled to be able to get their papers. Nobody is interested in our sisters back home. And I told Chief Ward that I cannot go through life like this. I cannot tolerate this any longer. That something must give way. That I have no interest in being the leader of Biafra. I have no interest in politics. All I want is for our people to be free. I explained to him very calmly and with respect. We took pictures, we had lunch, and we went away. They went behind my back to plan to kill me when I did nothing wrong to them. They came to my house, as we all know, on the 14th of September of last year, to kill me and every living being in my house. I don't know if Britain is involved, but when I return to the UK, we shall find out. Okay, Zia Yibazo, Dave Omahi, Nia Wardo had their statements prepared for my obituary. They had gone to plan with the traditional rulers of all the other geopolitical zones in the zoo to come down to address Biafrans on why my death was a good thing for our people. To go through Okezie Ibazu's statements is all there and self-evidently so. The Ohanese and Igbo political class, Southeast governors, used Fulani military apparatus to try and assassinate me the same way they've been doing, as they did in Aba, Tumpo, Nishenugu, Igwacha, in Aba. All we are asking for is for our freedom. But Igbo men that claim they are politicians brought death to us. When you ask them, but what wrong have we done? They say we are heating up the polity. That's all. We've explained to them time and time again, we want to be free. Perhaps some of you are comfortable being slaves to Fulani people. IPOB is not comfortable and can never ever be comfortable with it. We made it very clear and shall continue to make it very clear that we are not retreating. We cannot surrender. It is either Biafra or we die getting Biafra. Mind you, it was these semi-Igbo politicians that crafted my bail conditions. Some of you do not know. They wanted to cage IPOB the same way they caged MASOP and rendered it useless through financial inducements and military intimidation. Even those that claim they're part of the intelligentsia, when they go to Abuja, they lose their voice, they cannot speak on behalf of our people. They are humiliated day after day for daring to demand what is right for their people. The only time that they have anything tangible to say to us is every 4 years during the time to vote. But come next year, we will tell these corrupt politicians that Biafra land belongs to Biafrans. All we're interested in is freedom, our liberty as a people, equity and fairness. That we will never, ever, ever negotiate away. If indeed, as we know, that IPOB is fighting for all the things that I've elucidated above, why is it that Ohanese and Igbo and some Igbo governors would like to have me killed? Why do they want me
Everybody that is going to listen to this video and the whole of
Therefore, on the night, the day you will come, you will see it. Even if you come, you will see that the Biafrans have rejected everything that has to do with the zoo. We have rejected the zoo 1,000,000 times more than 100 years back ago. And we will continue to reject it until we have established our sovereign and independent Biafra nation.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, great Biafrans and lovers of freedom. This is Radio Biafra HAUSA-SERVICE coming to you through the auspices of Radio Biafra London. Today is the 30th day of September in the year of our Lord 2021. Without wasting time, although it is unannounced, but we have an emergency broadcast by the HOD Mazi Chinedu. Please, over to you. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mazi Jonathan. Can you hear me?
The whole world, humanity is hearing you clear. Please go on.
Thank you. Good evening, great Biafrans. Good afternoon, good morning, and good night to you, wherever you may be at this very hour. Depending on your time zone, my name remains Mazi Chinedu. I come from Ihe Oma. Ihe Oma is in all the province of Biafra land. And it is by the grace of Elohim Chukwu that I serve the indigenous people of Biafra in the Directorate of State as the head of directorate. This night, this is an emergency broadcast because it has become very imperative for me to speak to the Biafran people worldwide and especially Biafran people in the Biafra land. For a very while, some days now past, we have been seeing what is going on in Biafra land. We have seen the covert elimination and killings that is going on in our land, and I wish to let Biafrans know that the intelligence report at our disposal indicates that what we have said initially, what we have during the day, of course, brought out in press release is what the zoo government and their collaborators are doing in the Holy Land of Biafra. They have raised it to a very, very disturbing notch by the recent murder, cold-blooded murder of Dr. Chike Akonyele. Dr. Akonyele, as we know, is or was the husband of the beloved Dora Akonyele. Dora Akonyele, all of us can also remember that these very brave Biafran woman she received encomiums from Onyendu, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu on more than one occasion because of her faithfulness, because of her truthfulness. Onyendu praised her on occasions on this very hallowed platform of Arabia. And yesterday we heard that the husband was murdered. And the initial report, of course, last usual, they began to point their fingers in the direction of the indigenous people of Biafra. They began to point their fingers in the direction of the security outfit of the indigenous people of Biafra, the Eastern Security Network. We must not forget that also a time was when an APC politician was murdered as well in Imo State. Even before investigations were commenced, not even concluded. The police authorities accused the indigenous people of Biafra of masterminding the murder of that APC politician by name. Now, They have the agenda of turning Biafra land into a land engulfed with anarchy. But I want to tell you this evening that what is going on in Anambra State and, of course, Imo State and other parts of Biafra land is a choreographed and well-planned covert action by the Fulani Caliphate with their Nigerian supporters and their collaborators in Biafra land. If you will remember great Biafrans and the world at large, there was a man called Dr. May Lafayette. Dr. May Lafayette came out to publicly inform the world of the plan of the Fulani headsmen and terrorists, what they want to do. They had started to take over, attack and overrun forests, our lands. That was their initial plan. And when they finished with the forest, making our forest unsafe for our people to go to their farms, when they have finished with making it impossible for our people to produce what we eat and what will sustain us, they intended, I beg your pardon, they intended to carry out their evil plans and evil acts into the cities of the southern part of the Zoological Republic of Nigeria and specifically into Biafra land. They want to begin targeted elimination of very high-ranking and very illustrious sons of Biafra land. Dr. Chike Akunyele, we know, was not their first victim, was not their first target. They are trying to make sure that when Biafra land is made kind of very, very unsafe for us, they will now bring in their full army of terrorists to begin to hunt our people down as they are hunting them down as we speak. But beyond this, great Biafrans, beyond this plan of making Biafra land unsafe for our people, of creating anarchy in our land, their major objective is to find something that they will hang on the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. Because I remember, as I told you in my last broadcast, that these people, these Nigerian government establishment and their cohorts, they have nothing against Nnamdi Kanu. They have nothing against him because they were the ones who instituted action against him in their court. But now they are boycotting their own court because they do not have anything against our leader. They are trying to manufacture whatever they want to manufacture as what they will accuse him of committing in Biafra land. Excuse me. I'm a little bit upset this evening, but we must be at alert, great Biafrans. We must be at alert. We must not allow what is happening to distract us in the sense of trying to allow them to set our agenda for us or trying to allow them to dictate what happens in our land. The killings going on in Biafra land is the handwork of the Nigerian security apparatus. The murders, the cold-blooded executions, the cold-blooded executions of Biafran youth, the kidnappings of our men and our women, of our youth, by the security apparatus of the zoo is part of their plan. Part of their plan to create chaos in our land, part of their plans to what we call, they want to look for evidence or look for crimes they can hang or they wish to hang on the leader of the trade movement, Mazi and Kanu. We must not fall into their game plan. We, the Biafran people, must not fall into their game plan. I want to tell you that the Eastern Security Network, was formed for a very, very obvious reasons and cogent reasons for that matter. The Eastern Security Network is not in our cities. The ESN, since their formation, they have been in our bushes, driving out Fulani terrorists, herdsmen, from molesting and killing our people in their bushes, in their forests, in our forests, and in our farmlands. They have been engaged in ensuring that our lands and our farmlands are safe for our mothers, for our sisters, for our wives to go to the farm and to plant their crops and to harvest it at the appropriate time. This has been the occupation, the preoccupation. This has been what has occupied the Eastern Security Network up to this very moment that you're hearing my voice. Therefore, every murder that has taken place in our land is part of the game plan of the caliphate. Every killing that is taking place in our land as I speak to you this night is the handwork of the Nigerian security apparatus. And I want to let you know, there is nothing to bring the ESN and the unknown government or unknown soldier, whatever they call them, together. Unknown soldier, unknown gunmen, these are the creation. These are the creation of the Nigerian security apparatus committing crimes in our land. They are committing untold crimes, and they are trying to put hardship on our land, and also to see if they can turn our people against this outfit that was created for the safety of our people. This outfit that only put in place to safeguard our forests, to safeguard our land, and to safeguard our people. They have tried in all manner of ways to see if they can discredit this outfit, but we thank Chukwuabian that all of their efforts has been to nothing, and all their efforts will amount to nothing, because Chukwuabian, who is in charge of our activities, who is in charge of this movement, who brought out Onyendu to carry out this assignment, is on the throne, and he is controlling our movement and controlling, of course, the affairs of men. Now that we, through our intelligence unit, have exposed, now that we have found out what the game plan of the enemy is, Biafrans must be at heightened alert. Biafrans must be at a very, very heightened alert, because we must not in any way play into their game plan and begin to think, how can the outfit that was set up to save us, how can an outfit that was set up to protect the homeland of Biafra, how can an outfit that Onyendu, who love the Biafran people beyond anything you can imagine, and not only the Biafran people, all the indigenous people that are trapped in the contraption called Nigeria, we know how loves all these indigenous people that are suffering. We must ask ourselves, how then can a security outfit that he set up purposely to, how can they turn against the people they are set up to protect? ESN, the Eastern Security Network, has no hand. The IPOB, indigenous people of Biafra, led by only Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, has no hand in killings that are going on in our land. And of course, we will not turn against the people that we are out to save and salvage from the oppressive conditions in the zoo called Nigeria. We will not do that, and we cannot do that. And Biafrans must be on their guard. Biafrans must be on their guard, especially those in Biafra land. What you need to be doing is that you must ensure that you do not put yourself in any harm's way. But if you are chanced to see anyone who is committing any of these crimes, what we ask of you is simply to make a photo of the people that you see and send it across to the leadership of the indigenous people of Biafra. We promise you this leadership, the IPOB leadership. One thing I am promising this evening and this night or this morning or afternoon, depending on your time zone, is that we are going to find those who are committing these crimes and evil in our land. We are going to find them. We are going to find them, and Chukwabiama shall be their help. I will not say more than that, but we are going to find them. They cannot turn our land into a land of chaos. They cannot turn the land of Biafra into a land of anarchy. I warn politicians, I warn collaborators, this night you must remove your hand from the evil that you are being used against the people of Chukwukabiama, against the children of Elohim, against the children of God. You must remove your hand, because sorry will be your second name if in any way we find out that you are part and parcel of this covert plan to turn our land into a chaotic and anarchist environment. We will not condone that, and we will not accept that. Tomorrow is the day of anger in Biafra land, the day that we will show the world that we have repudiated, that we have rejected the zoo spiritually, physically, and completely. Sit at home. Total lockdown in the whole of Biafra land. Total lockdown in the whole of Biafra land has been declared on the day the zoo are celebrating their evil and oppressive hand on the head of children of Chukwokike. tomorrow, the day that they want to celebrate their oppressive and wicked feelings in our land, that day we must all sit at home. We must all show that we are no longer part of this evil enclave called the Zoological Republic of Nigeria. Tomorrow is our day of anger. Tomorrow is a lockdown in Biafra land, and I wanted to repeat this tonight, that nobody can tell you anything because we know how they operate. They may now come before the day breaks and tell you one story. The lockdown in Biafra land tomorrow remains as already announced. And I am certain that Biafrans who have answered the clarion call, who have shown time and time again that they are in total support of this very great movement and that they are loyal to Nnamdi Kanu, I am convinced and sure that we will do what we are known for, that the whole of Biafra land will be locked down 100%. We also commend our women, the IPOB women that have been protesting since yesterday in the United Kingdom, London to be precise. Our IPOB women, I want to commend you for all that you have been doing since yesterday and today. And of course, tomorrow, I suppose, is the last day of the protest of our women in London. And tomorrow being the last day, I am directing every IPOB family member in the UK to come out tomorrow and ensure, come out tomorrow in the United Kingdom, please. Come out tomorrow in London and join our women to drive home our demand, which is that the leader of this great movement, Nnamdi Kanu, must be released unconditionally because he has committed no crime. We must drive home our demand that the British authorities must know that a citizen of the United Kingdom, a citizen of Britain, a subject of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, has been incarcerated, has been extraordinarily rendition for months and counting. The Biafran women are bringing this to the attention of the British authorities in case they have forgotten. And our demand and the demand of our mothers, our sisters, our daughters, the Biafran, the IPOB women worldwide in UK, our demand and their demand is simple. Release the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, unconditionally. And also they are telling the United Kingdom to do what is right and ensure that their citizen is released and that the torture that he is undergoing is stopped forthwith. This, like I said, is an emergency broadcast because it has become imperative that I speak to great Biafran, that I make the world to know and to understand that there is a plan by the establishment, the Nigerian establishment. It is imperative that I let the world to know that there is a covert plan by the Fulani Caliphate and their collaborators, of course, who have found themselves in our midst, those of them who call themselves politicians those who they are using to perpetrate their evil in our land. It has become imperative that I let the world know that all the atrocities that is going on, which has climaxed in the murder, in the cold-blooded killing of Dr. Ike Akunyele, is the handwork of the Nigerian authorities through their security apparatus, because they want to create an environment that will give them an opportunity to see if there is a crime, they will hang on our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And I'm telling them that they are late on arrival, because we are many miles ahead of them. Our intelligence unit, they, like Oyendu always tell you, they are one of the best in the world. And we are receiving credible evidence, credible information, credible data and facts that they are behind what is happening in our land. And therefore, like I said, those they are using to commit this crime, we will find you. We, the IPOB, will find you, because we cannot allow you to create such an environment in our land. We cannot allow you to manufacture or to go and start looking for crime that you will hang on Onyendu, our leader. We will not allow that to happen. And of course, Chukwu Abiyama will not allow that to happen. I want to thank you all for listening this very evening. And I want to commend all of you into the hand of Elohim Chukwu Abiyama Kumihenine. And of course, commit our leader into your prayers. Commit him into your supplications to Chukwu Abiyama, and continue in our Psalms reading. For things are happening. Things are happening, and victory is assured for us. Chukwu shall be with all of you. Biafra for us is not just a name. Biafra is not just a name for us. Biafra is our identity. Biafra is our religion. And only Chukwu Abiyama, upon whom all honor and praise belongs, to him alone, we, the children of light, bow down and worship. And into his hand, I commit all Biafrans worldwide. And from here, I want to say to you, good night, and may Elohim be with you. Thank you so much.
We are one family, indivisible. Under Chukwu Abiyama, we are the people of the East. We are one family, indivisible. Under Chukwu Abiyama, we are the people of the East.
The type of Biafra I want is the Biafra of my ancestors, the land of the free, where people are allowed to pursue their daily endeavors without interference from any higher authority, where individual and collective autonomy of every component, ethnic, nationality within Biafra will be guaranteed, not just by law, but by virtue of our existence as dignified human beings. a Biafra that will be demilitarized, a Biafra that will be forward-looking, innovative, creative, run on clean, green energy, not reliant on gas or petrol. A Biafra where the police will not bear any arms. A Biafra where people can live and die and you will not see an armed soldier anywhere around you. A genuine republic, a land belonging to the people. We are going to cement this in the way we structure our society. A Biafra that will attract inward investment. A Biafra that will consider every necessity of life as being a human right. Not just in words, but in deed. A Biafra where there will be no strife, no rancor. A Biafra where all men and women will be equal, regardless of their religion, their sex, their creed, their orientation. A Biafra that will maintain open borders to every black soul on the face of this very earth. I do admit that geographically, in terms of landmass, we may not be that huge. The Biafra will operate, or should I say, run an open door policy. Every black person on the face of this earth will be an honorary citizen of Biafra, as long as you're not tainted by terrorism. That is the type of Biafra we want to run. A Biafra where Europeans will sit back and say, we never knew that such innovation and creativity will be possible. A Biafra that, should I say, the likes of Rwanda is a forerunner to, because today they are doing very well as well. That is the type of nation we are going to build. A truly democratic nation, not through the force of arms, but through dialogue and negotiations at all times. Nobody is going to lord it over anybody else. My ancestors never did. That is why we remain the only people not to conquer any other piece of territory, and nobody conquered us until the white man came and our temple fell in 1904. That is the land we're going to go back to. A Biafra of very many nations, a Biafra of autonomous nations within, governing themselves according to their own rules, where nobody will sit at the helm of power and dictate for others what to do. And we are going to accomplish it by the grace of God Almighty in heaven. Now, I know that constant references are being made to Southern Sudan. But I want to let people understand that even after the USA became free from British colonial rule, they also went through a very bitter civil war. And that did not stop them today from becoming preeminent in every sphere of human endeavor, militarily, economically, socially, in every way. So I do believe that is why I said, and I have said this repeatedly, I will never ever lead Biafra politically. Once Biafra is restored, my job is done. I want to be able to prove to our people what sacrifice means, so that those who will come after us will know how to treat our people with respect and with dignity. The thing about Africa is somebody gets into power and they want to stay there forever and ever, see if there is something in it. The little work that I'm doing for Biafran people is very tiring, very, very stressful. Sometimes I don't even know how these presidents manage to sleep. Maybe they don't love their people that much. If you love your people, you cannot sleep at night. Any president in Africa who's not suffering from high blood pressure, you are not sick. That means you're doing something wrong. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. If you're concerned about your people, then I expect you to be very ill at all times. So that is the type of Biafra that we need. That's the type of Biafra we're going to have. A type of Biafra where the wealth, well-being of Sub-Saharan Africa flows from. And I can assure you we are going to deliver it. We will deliver it. The Pan-Africanism that we talk about is going to start from Biafra, because mind you, I did not say that we're just going to have Biafra and then we shut up all the borders. No. What we want to do is to return to our organic political cultural arrangement. Should Biafrans wake up the next day to say, oh, we want to be the same country with Oduduwa, all well and good. Should Biafrans wake up and say, oh, we want to expand into Amazonia, all well and good. As long as you take the consent of the people with you, this nonsense that the Europeans did in Africa, we want to reverse it. That God Almighty heaven may look down and be very proud to say that at last, I have people who are after my heart, and that's what we intend to do with Biafra. Thank you very much.
Hashtag, we are one family. Indivisible. Under Chukwu Okike Abiyama, we are the people of the East. Hashtag, we are one family. Indivisible. Under Chukwu Okike Abiyama, we are the people of the East.
The type of Biafra I want is the Biafra of my ancestors, the land of the free, where people are allowed to pursue their daily endeavors without interference from any higher authority, where individual and collective autonomy of every component, ethnic, nationality within Biafra will be guaranteed, not just by law, but by virtue of our existence as dignified human beings. A Biafra that will be demilitarized, a Biafra that will be forward-looking, innovative, creative, run on clean, green energy, not reliant on gas or petrol. A Biafra where the police will not bear any arms. A Biafra where people can live and die and you will not see an armed soldier anywhere around you. A genuine republic, a land belonging to the people. We are going to cement this in the way we structure our society. A Biafra that will attract inward investment. A Biafra that will consider every necessity of life as being a human right. Not just in words, but in deed. A Biafra where there will be no strife nor rancor. A Biafra where all men and women will be equal, regardless of their religion, their sex, their creed, their orientation. A Biafra that will maintain open borders to every black soul on the face of this very earth. I do admit that geographically, in terms of landmass, we may not be that huge. The Biafra will operate, or should I say, run an open door policy. Every black person on the face of this earth will be an honorary citizen of Biafra, as long as you're not tainted by terrorism. That is the type of Biafra we want to run. A Biafra where Europeans will sit back and say, we never knew that such innovation and creativity will be possible. A Biafra that, should I say, the likes of Rwanda is a forerunner to, because today they are doing very well as well. That is the type of nation we are going to build. A truly democratic nation, not through the force of arms, but through dialogue and negotiations at all times. Nobody's going to lord it over anybody else. My ancestors never did. That is why we remain the only people not to conquer any other piece of territory, and nobody conquered us until the white man came and our temple fell in 1904. That is the land we're going to go back to. A Biafra of very many nations, a Biafra of autonomous nations within, governing themselves according to their own rules, where nobody will sit at the helm of power and dictate for others what to do. And we are going to accomplish it by the grace of God Almighty in heaven. Now, I know that constant references are being made to Southern Sudan. But I want to let people understand that even after the USA became free from British colonial rule, they also went through a very bitter civil war. And that did not stop them today from becoming preeminent in every sphere of human endeavor, militarily, economically, socially, in every way. So I do believe that is why I said, and I have said this repeatedly, I will never ever lead Biafra politically. Once Biafra is restored, my job is done. I want to be able to prove to our people what sacrifice means. so that those who will come after us will know how to treat our people with respect and with dignity. The thing about Africa is somebody gets into power and they want to stay there forever and ever, see if there is something in it. The little work that I'm doing for Biafran people is very tiring, very, very stressful. Sometimes I don't even know how these presidents manage to sleep. Maybe they don't love their people that much. If you love your people, you cannot sleep at night. Any president in Africa who's not suffering from high blood pressure, you are not sick. That means you're doing something wrong. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. If you're concerned about your people, then I expect you to be very ill at all times. So that is the type of Biafra that we need. That's the type of Biafra we're going to have. A type of Biafra where the wealth, well-being of Sub-Saharan Africa flows from. And I can assure you we are going to deliver it. We will deliver it. The Pan-Africanism that we talk about is going to start from Biafra because, mind you, I did not say that we're just going to have Biafra and then we shut up all the borders. No. What we want to do is to return to our organic political cultural arrangement. Should Biafrans wake up the next day to say, oh, we want to be the same country with Oduduwa, all well and good. Should Biafrans wake up and say, oh, we want to expand into Amazonia, all well and good. As long as you take the consent of the people with you, this nonsense that the Europeans did in Africa, we want to reverse it. That God Almighty heaven may look down and be very proud to say that at last, I have people who are after my heart. And that's what we intend to do with Biafra. Thank you very much.
Hashtag we are one family. Indivisible. Under Chukwu Okike Abiyama, we are the people of the East. Hashtag we are one family. Indivisible. Under Chukwu Okike Abiyama, we are the people of the East. Get it online on your mobile. This is IPOB Community Radio, Radio Biafra, the first and the last.
Good morning, great Biafrans, wonderful people, beautiful people
of course, we shall vanquish by the grace of Chukwoki Kabiama Elohim. Onye promihenile, we shall vanquish. I welcome you this morning. Once again, it is a great morning, a powerful morning for that matter, one that Chukwoki Kabiama have made to pray and commit this program to the hands of Elohim. And then, of course, we will open our lines. But before we open our lines, I want to say a few words to us this morning, and then I will allow us to interact, because I haven't been on air for a while now, and of course I believe the right thing to do is to give us the opportunity to call in this morning and speak our mind. I think that is what we're going to do. But first of all, we need to pray and commit this program to the hands of Elohim. Father, we thank you this morning. We bless and worship you, God. We give you all the praise. We give you all the glory. Father, we say, let your name be glorified in the name of Chukwoki Kabiama. Father, we thank you for a day like this. We thank you for our people. We thank you, Lord, because we are Biafrans. Father, we say, to you be all the glory, to you be all the honors, to you be all the adoration and thanksgiving. We worship you, Elohim, because you are the one that gave this vision to our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Father, Lord, we bought into this vision because we believe in that vision. And today we have come, oh God, we have come that Biafra will be restored in our own time. But a lot of mountains are before us, oh God. And you say to Zerubbabel, what is that mountain before you? For that mountain shall be removed for your sake. Therefore, Father, we pray for our sake this morning. Let the mountain move. Let the mountain be removed, that Biafra will be restored in our own time. Father, we pray, we give you praise, we give you glory, we give you honor, because you know that you have answered us. And Father, we say for our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, we pray, Lord, for his urgent release, his imminent release, oh God, unconditional release. These are what we pray this morning. And Father, we believe that you have heard us, because we prayed in the name of Chukwoki Kabiama. He said,
in hunger and in thirst, in nakedness and in need of everything, and I will put a yoke of iron upon your neck. I will destroy you completely. A nation will come against you from afar and from the ends of the earth, as swift as the eagle flies.
Zikechukwu Onoha here from Omowa in Olu province of Biafra land. Let's get straight to it before I open our lines this morning. I want to say just a few words, and of course I will then go straight to our lines and give us the opportunity this morning to call in and of course say what is in our mind. Sometime in 2019, while I was still in Israel, I did preach a message on this platform, Radio Biafra. And the title of that message I preached in 2019 was Biafra, a people marked for systematic extermination. Actually, I did not plan that message. I came on air, and of course, I was led to preach that gospel. Of course, people were dying quite all right, but it is not at this rate. It is not this way. Then, of course, I was really overwhelmed that I began to preach that word, which says Biafra, people marked for systematic extermination. You know, most of us are still expecting war. They are still expecting when bombs should be dropped in Biafra land indiscriminatively. Some people are still maybe expecting when, soldiers, armored brigade will be rolled out in Biafra land and begin to shoot on sight, killing everybody in numbers. But what they fail to realize is that the people we are dealing with are not stupid. The people we are dealing with are very, very cunning. They are very, very, very cunning. You don't understand. They know exactly what they are doing. They know that there is no way they are going to kill us the way they killed us in 1967. And of course, the only way they've resolved to kill Biafrans this day is systematically. And that is what is playing out in Biafra land today. I mean, never in my life, in my entire whole life, have I seen blood the way I am seeing it today in Biafra land.
Never in my entire life, in my youthful life, in my teenage life, have I seen blood the way I am seeing it today in Biafra land. I don't even know where people are dying more this day. Is it in Biafra land or in the north? Because the way our people are dying today, the way people are being wasted, the way people are being killed in the street of Biafra land, it scares the hell out of me. I say it scares the hell out of me. Sometimes I begin to ask myself, is this the same Biafra land that I know? Is this the same Biafra land of peace and tranquility that I know? You know, we used to say, why are you people bringing the soldiers in Biafra land? Biafra land is a peaceful place. Biafra land is a peaceful area. And now they are trying to turn Biafra land into a bloody land. They are trying to turn Biafra land into a land that flows with blood instead of a land that flows with milk and honey. And of course, we are watching helplessly. We are watching helplessly while they serenade the land of our ancestors with blood. There is no day that will go past you will not hear that somebody is being gunned down in a pool of blood. In a pool of blood. And then, have you ever asked yourself, you know, in many places I see people get shot. Even here in South Africa, I see somebody get shot and they die. But when you see people get shot, even here in South Africa or anywhere in the world, you don't see pool of blood. You don't see pool of blood. Have you ever asked yourself, why is it that when people are get shot, people get killed in Biafra land, you see pool of blood? The kind of bullet that these morons use to kill our people is not the average bullet you know. It's not the normal bullet you know. They use the abnormal bullet. They use the oversized bullet. A bullet that when you get shot with it, there is no chances of recovery. You know, people get shot and they get taken to hospital and they get treated and sometimes they survive. Who have you ever heard got shot in Biafra land and was treated and they survived? No. They shoot you, you die right there at the spot in your pool of blood because the bullet is so much that it will destroy every veins and artery in your body. Some get shot in the head, their head will open up. But sometimes, do you know that when you shoot people in the head, their head will not open up, the bullet will penetrate, but their head will not open up. But because of the size and the caliber of the bullet they use against our people right there in Biafra land, because they are out there to shoot to kill. They are out there to make sure when they shoot you, you die and you don't wake up again. Systematic extermination of Biafran people. It is a well-orchestrated act. It is a well-orchestrated act that has been rolled out against Biafran people. We are still waiting when Fulanis will invade our land. We are still waiting when they are going to declare war on Biafra land. Whereas there is no better war than what is happening now. There is no better genocide than what is happening now. The only difference is that this one is systematic. I preach that gospel. And of course, I'm going to look for that audio once again. I did load that audio on IPOB community radio. It is called Biafrans, people marked for systematic extermination. And we are busy jumping around. We are busy gossiping. We are busy on Facebook talking rubbish and nonsense while our people are dying. While our percentage is decreasing. While our numbers are shrinking. They know exactly what they are doing. They know how they are going to do it. And yes, they are doing it right. Our leader told us that Fulanis are very patient kind of people. They plan before they execute. And when they execute, they don't go wrong. They don't make mistakes. You know, from the start, when they labeled IPOB, the Indigenous People of Biafra, a terrorist organization, when they prescribed IPOB, most of us don't understand what they are doing. You thought that they are just prescribing IPOB for the sake of it, just for the interest of it. No, they had a master plan. Prescribing IPOB was just the beginning of the end. Prescribing IPOB was just a way to get it off the ground. I don't know if you've heard this for those who speak Igbo. When you want to kill a dog, you name it a bad name. You can call that dog bad name and say, oh, this dog, every time you are peeing everywhere, every time this dog, you are messing up my room because you are tired of this dog and you want to kill that dog. And you cannot just go and kill a dog without a fight. You cannot just go and kill a dog without labeling that dog. You must label that dog so that when people ask you, why are you killing this dog? You will say, because it is a bad dog. When you want to kill a dog, you label that dog. That is what they have done with IPOB. That is what they have done with the indigenous people of Biafra. Now, when they are labeling IPOB, when they are prescribing IPOB, some stupid people, a flavors in our land, they were happy. They were rejoicing. Yes, yeah, IPOB. Even your governors, they were in on it. They all prescribed IPOB. But what they don't understand is this. Fulanis are very smart. Fulanis are smarter than you. You can call them Aboki. You can call them Aboki Mekudi. Aboki me this one. Aboki this one. Aboki. But they are very smart. More smarter than you because Britain trained them. Yes, Britain trained them very well. And they are still training them till today. So Fulanis are so smarter than us. I don't even know whether we are smart again or I don't even know because they used to say that the Igbos are the most intelligent people on earth. They are the most intelligent people. They keep deceiving you, giving you big names. Yeah, you are the most entrepreneurs, this and that. Wherever you go, you don't see an Igbo man. Pack your things and go. Rubbish. They were using those things to boost your egos. They were using those things to bruise your egos because they know that we are egoistic set of people. They know that we are so arrogant. They know that we are so, I don't know how to classify our type. They know us very well. They got us figured out. That is why if you want to do what do I call it? If you want to do a traditional marriage, let me tell you who we are. If you want to do a traditional marriage, and you see one rich man in your community, if you go and invite him, he will not come. No, he will not come. Trust me when I tell you. But for you to get that rich man in your village to come to your traditional marriage, and when he comes, he's going to spend so much money. It's very simple. You go and buy a bottle of Hennessy. Or sometimes you can even buy a carton of beers, but you must get a very expensive alcohol. And you go to his place in the evening with your wife. You go there, hey, you kneel down, you say to him, hey, Nani, we came to thank you and for what you've been doing for our community. And also we want to beg you to come please and grace our occasion. As a matter of fact, we want to make you the chairman of that occasion. He will smile, he will laugh. You have touched his ego. That's a typical Igbo man. You have touched his ego. He will smile and say, no problem, I'm coming. And that day, he will go and wear a very expensive clothes. With his big car, he will arrive because he's the chairman of the occasion. Everybody will see him. These Fulanis, they know. That's how we roll. They know that is how we roll. That they have to praise us. They have to tell us everything. And every time they will say, Igbo man is this, Igbo man is entrepreneur, Igbo man is this and that. They are everywhere. We are everywhere. Being everywhere is not a blessing. Being everywhere is a curse, for goodness sake, people. No people are everywhere. No people, no sane people on earth are everywhere. No sane people are everywhere. It is people who are being chased around, people who are being chased away from their home that are everywhere like us. So don't think because we are all over the world makes us something. Don't think because we are all over the world makes us, makes us, how do I put it? Not at all, not at all. It's a curse on us. Our leader even said it. I will chase you around. I will chase you to all parts of the earth. And you think that because I'm in South Africa, you are in the UK, he is in America, and he's in South Korea, and you are listening from me from Spain. And the other one, where are you? Okay, foreign is listening from me from Poland. And this one is listening from me from there and there. Oh, we are blessed. We are everywhere. We are not blessed. We are cursed. We are cursed with a curse. Being everywhere is not a blessing. Do you understand? We should be at home. We should be at home, saving our land, because they are killing our people systematically. They are destroying our land systematically. By the time you come back from wherever it is that you are, everywhere, everything is gone. You are everywhere and you are jumping up. You don't know us. Hey, we are everywhere now. I'm in Japan. He's in Netherlands. Who else is there? Anywhere where you go, you don't see an Igbo man. You know, when I'm using the word Igbo, I'm talking about Biafrans. Anywhere you go, you don't see an Igbo man. Pack your things and go. Rubbish. I said rubbish. Anywhere you go, if there's no Igbo man, pack your things and go. Rubbish. It is not a blessing, it's a curse. Don't think that good things have done for you because you are scattered everywhere. You are scattered everywhere because they want to destroy your home so that you won't have a home to come back to. Our leaders say that they have destroyed the fabrics of our existence. Am I talking to somebody this morning? Am I talking to Biafrans? Our leaders say that they have destroyed the fabrics of our existence. What are the fabrics of our existence? Now, let me educate you, because this is University of Radio Biafra. My goodness me, Mahadum. After the Civil War in 1967, they say, okay, since we cannot kill them all, since we cannot destroy them all, since they are too stubborn that we cannot destroy them all, we try, though, to eliminate them, to betray them out of this planet Earth. The stubborn Igbo man, the stubborn Biafran. What else can we do? They had a master plan. They had a master plan. Let's stuff them out of fund. Let's steal their money so that they will be wretched and poor. And then they will be working for us. They will be forced to be in Ugwausa working for us. They will be forced to be everywhere. It's scavenging. As a matter of fact, they made us scavengers. Because what we are doing in overseas, we are scavenging. Because Elohim is merciful, sometimes we scavenge education. Sometimes we scavenge money, but we are scavengers. That's what Fulani has turned us to. That's what British turned us to, scavengers. They say, let's take all their money. And that is why they gave your parents, our fathers, 20 pounds. Do you understand? Do you remember 20 pounds? Does it ring a bell? Does it make sense now? Do you think that Awolowo needed your money? Do you think that Nigerian government needed our money, Biafran money after the war? No, they don't need it. They have more. Oil is there, don't forget. They don't need our money. Remember, they don't need the money. They did it for a purpose. They did it to stiffen us out of fund. They did it so that we can be useless. They did it so that even generations to come will be useless. Because there won't be foundation. If you have a child, and there is no foundation for that child will become useless. And when he have his own child will be useless. It only takes the hand of God to turn things around. Otherwise, from generation to generation, useless altogether. That's why they took the money. They did not take the money because they need it. Awolowo doesn't need your money at all. The Zoo government does not need our money at all. They did it for a purpose. So when they took the 20 pounds, they know what next. What is going to happen is because in your family, because some family you will find 9 kids, 10 kids. That is how our parents, they do it. My father had 9. Some even have 12. They know that in that family of 10 children, there is no way on earth your father will be able to train those 12 children. Maybe 5 is boys, 5 are girls. And then you know what he's going to do? He will tell the girls, you're going to get married because there is no money to train you. And they will get married early as possible. My mother got married at the age of 16. My mother got married at the age of 16 years. They will make their children, their daughters get married so quick because there is no money to take care of this full house. Because when you come to that house in the evening, you beat this one over the plate of food. There is fight. People are throwing food at each other. I experienced it because I came from a big family. Any day we eat, my goodness me, it's either I will have a torn lips or a blown mouth because there will be boxing flying over a plate of food. That is what they did. And they did it well. They did it well. And then they will turn to the boys and say, okay, there is no money. You are the first son of the family. You need to go to Ugwausa, because then nobody's talking about Obodo Ibo. Nobody talks about overseas. You need to go to Ugwausa. You need to go to Makurdi. You need to go to Akure. You need to go to Lagos. Go and learn trade. You need to go to Onitsha. Go and learn trade and help me, your father, take care of the family. I cannot do it alone. Maybe that first son of the family is very educated, very intelligent. If he had gone to school, he might be a medical doctor, a lawyer. But what choice does he have? He will now go into trade. And when he finishes, sometimes he settles. Some of them are not settled. Some were settled. And from there, they travel to overseas. Do you see how they begin to chase us away from home? That's why when you go to Biafra land today, there are no men left. Only few men left. Women everywhere, unmarried. Nobody to marry them, because the men has been chased away like scavengers all around the world. What am I talking about this morning? I am telling you the way they have set it up. I am telling you how they set us up. We thought it was a blessing for us to run from one country to another. No, it is not a blessing. It is a curse. The day you leave your father's home as the first son of the family, and you have not been home for 10 years, and you tell me you are blessed? No, you are cursed, because you are the first son. Maybe your father is no more. You should be at home taking care of business, but you can't, because you don't even have money to go back home. So how are you blessed overseas? You are a scavenger. That's what Fulani has turned you into. And you are looking at an example of a scavenger talking to you this morning. You are looking at a typical example of a scavenger talking to you. Mazi Kichukwunoha. I am a confirmed scavenger. Now let me tell you my story a bit, because I like to use myself as a case study. It is not good enough me telling you about you. What about me? If I use myself as a case study, maybe you can learn one or two things from me. I was born into a family of 9 children. I'm the first son. It came to a time when I finished writing my common entrance. I was so looking forward to go to the university. I love education. God is my witness. I'm very intelligent and stubborn as well. You know, between intelligent and stubborn, my father have to choose one, because I'm very, very stubborn. I give my father a right for his money. So my father called me one day and sat me down and said to me, Ikechukwu, you see, you are the son, and we have so many girls, you know, and you and your 2 brothers. Ikechukwu, by then I've already entered class 1. Are you listening to me this morning? I've already entered class 1, and I was doing well. I joined a secondary school in Onitsha. I was doing well. It was my first time in class 1. They call it JSS 1 now, isn't it? JSS 3, I don't know what they call it these days. But it's class 1 in secondary school. I was doing well. My father called me one morning and sat me down and said, Ikechukwu, you see, men don't go to school. That's what my father told me. Men don't go to school. What men do is when they finish at least primary 6, they go into apprenticeship. It's either you go and learn how to walk, or you go and do apprenticeship, learn how to trade. When you are done, they will settle you, so that you can come and help me train your sisters. Let them go to school. It is women who go to school, not men. That's what my father told me. I was so devastated. I cried. I shedded tears. It wasn't his fault. It was Fulani's fault. It was British fault, because that was the whole plan. Scatter them. So that they don't amount to anything. They don't go to school. But they will be outside scavenging, working for a white man all over the world, because that's what we do. We go overseas. What do we do overseas? We wash plates. I was in Israel. I washed plates. God help me. My hand was so white. I washed plates. My God, I don't even know if I'm dying or if I'm alive. And I'll be washing that plate, standing up for 10 hours. They will be shouting at me, yalla, 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 make fast. What is wrong with you today? Are you not strong today? They see me as a tree. They see me as a stone. They don't know there's blood that flows in me. As long as I stand up for 10 hours washing that plate, they are happy. He said, I know, Budo Ibo. We are scavengers. And that is the master plan of the Fulanese and the British. Scatter them all around the world. Make them amount to nothing. Let them scavenge. It will take them 20 years, 30 years. By the time they make money, they're already 70 years old. Some would prefer to die wherever it is that they are than to go back home. And some of them are even the first son. Their kingdom is waiting for them. Their father's dynasty is waiting for them. They are the first son to take over. Their father is dead. Their father is dead long ago. Their father's brother is still in their land. Nobody to question him because the first son is far away in England. The first son is far away in the US, eating burger. So my father told me, no, I have to quit school. And you know how it works those days? You need to take your locker to school. And then, of course, if you finish, you have to bring back your locker when you're done with school. Like when you're done with class 5, you go and bring back your locker. My father said, I have to go and bring back my locker. And that is the worst part of it. That is the most shameful part of it because now, fellow students will see you carry your locker, leaving school, showing them that there is no money at home, showing them that I am from the poorest of the poorest. I cannot afford education. I don't know what to do. And I have to do it during the school days, during the school hour. I cannot go to school in the night to take my locker because they won't let me. So I pick up courage. I went to school. I picked my locker. The whole teachers were so upset. They said, no, you are not going. You are going to meet your father because they know I am so educated. Ikechu is so intelligent. When it comes to literature, oral reading, my goodness me, I will stand up. I will read the book of Oliver Twist without looking at the book. I said, I will read Oliver Twist without looking at the book. That is how intelligent I am. And if you think I am joking, I can read for you the first page of Oliver Twist. Among other buildings in a certain town, there is a house meant for poor people. They go there when they are sick or have no money. Oliver Twist was born there. Her mother, an old woman, looking sick, she said, let me see the child and die. And he said to her, you should not talk about dying yet. What am I reading? Oliver Twist. That is how intelligent I was in school those days. The teachers were crying. I picked my locker. From Modebe to where we live in Chinese Street. I was walking home, I was crying. The first son of his father, the first son of the family. A guy who might end up being something powerful. But this dream and vision has been cut, short-lived because of Fulani and Britain. Because this is what they meant for me. This is how they want me to end up. Because they know if I continue and become something big, then of course there will be great minds who will come together one day to ask them for Biafra. So I take my locker and I was moving back, going home, crying on the street. Everyone was looking at me. Some people still talk about it today. It was epic. A young boy with his school locker, and they know what it meant. No more education. The family can't afford education. Then I took that locker, I got home, I dropped my locker. Now it's time for them to take me to where to go and do apprenticeship. My goodness me. Now, this is the beginning of my problems in life. They take me to this master. He doesn't want me because I'm so stubborn. They move me to this one. They moved me to many houses. I lived in many people. My goodness me. This one who said, no, I don't want him. He's so stubborn. This one who said, no, I want people from the village. This one is born in Onitsha. He's very, very rough and a lot of stories until my father doesn't know what to do. He take me, okay, now you go and learn how to make shoes since nobody wants to take you as boy. I went and learned how to do shoes. Why am I telling you all these things? Why am I telling you about me? Why am I using myself as a case study? I want to tell you how they destroyed the fabric of our existence, how they destroyed our family union, how they destroyed Biafran's family foundation, how they made sure at the age of 20, you cannot sit around with your family. Some of us left at the age of 20, some left at the age of 26. Till today, we are far far away from families. Most of your brothers and sisters have died. Some of them have married away. You've never seen them. That is what Fulani did. That is what Britain did. It was planned, well orchestrated, and that plan is still on as I'm talking to you today, but it has moved to another level. Systematic extermination. And I will tell you why it's changed to systematic extermination. I'm coming to that. If you will be patient for me this morning, I never meant to go this far, but I had to explain to you, Biafrans, the demon we are facing, because some of you are relaxed. Some of you are relaxed. You are so relaxed that you don't understand what time it is. And that's why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said this to you. Listen to what he said to you, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Just listen.
Understand what you are fighting. We must make it very, very clear that we are in a struggle for liberation. There is no democracy in a revolution. We are in a perpetual state of a revolution. There is no democracy. We are a quasi-military organization, not in terms of our outlook or pursuit of what we believe in, but in terms of how we are structured. It is called command and control. That is why we are the highest, the largest mass movement in the world. When Biafra comes, you can do all the democracy in your life that you want. There are a lot of things that we are doing that we cannot tell you. When we tell you sometimes, oh, but why are you telling us? You don't have to tell us. But when we don't tell you, you also complain. Oh, why haven't you told us? So we cannot win. If you take them up, they say, you know, Swabeke is the dead body of a white court mine those days. White colonialists. Not DC, district commissioner. Take him up, you say, no. Bring him down, you say, no.
Do you understand what he's talking about? The man that knows tomorrow, the man that sees tomorrow, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, do you understand what he's talking about? He knows where we are coming from. He knows that the fabric of our existence has been destroyed completely. He knows what family, Fulani and Britain planned for us. He knows, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu knows. He's a victim. He's a victim of the so-called scavengers. Even though he is from a rich family, even though he is a prince, but yet, he was outside. Why did Mazi Nnamdi Kanu go to the UK? He went to the UK because he cannot get good education in the zoo. Remember, he went to Nsukka first, but he could not get what he wants because he's a Biafran. They destroyed the fabrics of our existence. And from that, they scattered us all around the world and made us scavengers today. Don't tell me you were in Spain. Don't tell me you were in the UK. Don't tell me you were in South Korea. Don't tell me you are in Japan. If I ask you now to give me $1,000, you can't. No, you can't. Not because you don't want, but you don't have it. And you've been there for 20 years. My goodness me. But you can't give me $1,000. Because you don't have it. It's a fact of life. You are struggling in Japan. You are struggling in Spain. You are struggling in the UK, in the US. And when they ask you, come, let's get Biafra, let's get freedom, you want to fight. You want factionism. You are talking rubbish. You are talking nonsense. As if you are happy in being in the UK for 20 years. My goodness me. What kind of people are we? Are you not tired of being a scavenger? Are you not tired of suffering? Don't you want to come back home? Don't you want to come and smell your father's home? Don't you want to come and see the wreckage in your father's compound? Don't you want to come back and see how people are laughing at your father's compound? The only way to do that is for you to know that you are a military. You are not an ordinary person. That you are not in a democracy yet. That you are fighting. You are fighting. That the people you are fighting, the monsters you are fighting, my goodness me, they are great. These guys are so cunning. That's the word I use. They are so cunning. Did you see how they brainwashed all your governors? and turned Biafra land into a war zone, and turned Biafra land into a pool of blood. My goodness, I've never seen something like that. When I was growing up, when they say to us, there is a dead body in Bida Road, we avoid Bida Road. We don't even cross Bida Road. It is a big deal. Everybody is saying, my goodness me, there is a dead body in Bida Road. It is a big deal. It's a big deal to announce that there is a dead body in Bida Road. Nobody even go closer. But today, dead body is like nothing. Today, dead bodies are like a way of life in Biafra land. Kids of 15 years are running around a dead body. When somebody dies in your compound, do you come out? I'm asking you, the grown-ups now, the adults now. When somebody die in your yard where you live, do you come out? You are afraid to see a dead body. But today, they have made it so easy that even our kids are not afraid of dead body. Do you know what it's doing to our children? It's turning them into a monster. Do you know that? Seeing a dead body, pool of blood, without remorse, it turns our children into a future monster. Do you know that? Because our child can pick up a knife tomorrow and stab another child to death. It's not a big deal. He just died. He's just died. Killing has become a way of life in Biafra land. This is what the Fulani wants. If we cannot engage them in another war, if we cannot kill them again and wipe them away, which we cannot do because the world is so civilized, they won't even let us do it. Why don't we kill them systematically? Killing me softly, surely, steady, slowly, and they are dying and they are decreasing. We are wiping them away from the face of the earth. They are going. Before you know it, the men are dead. The youth who are supposed to fight, they are nowhere to be found, but 6 feet under. Some are being scattered in the wilderness. We don't even know where their bodies are. This is the master plan. This is the master plan of Fulani. This is the master plan of Fulani. Fulani are so patient that they waited for the Hausas until they conquer Hausa. They are so patient. They waited for the Yorubas until they take some landmarks from the Yorubas. Why wouldn't they be so patient for the greatest of them all, the Biafra nation? Why wouldn't they be so patient until they take over? My goodness me, they are almost there. They are almost there. Ebonyi is gone. Ebonyi State is gone. You know that for sure. Anambra is now on the card. Anambra is for taking. Imo State, I don't even know if Imo State is like it's almost gone. They are taking it. They are taking it gradually. They are taking it. They are taking it gradually. And me and you, we are watching. We are talking. We are gossiping. We are skinnering. We are shouting on Facebook. They are taking our land gradually but surely. And hell yeah, they are taking our land. And they will take it. You can shout and say, no, they won't. What are you going to do about it? That's the question. That's the $1 million question. What are you going to do about it? They're not going to take it. What are you going to do? Because even today, people are being gunned down indiscriminatively. They are shooting. They are killing our people. I saw the one that made me cry last night. A small boy was gunned down in his pool of blood. I don't know for my life what that boy could have done. A small boy was gunned down and the sister was crying. In the pool of blood by the military, by the zoo soldiers. Systematic extermination. There goes another scientist. There goes another Biafran doctor. There goes another Biafran engineer. Gone down, gone forever. You will never see him again. Is it not time for us to come together? Is it not time for us to face the common enemy? Is it not time for us to throw away those Igbo man egoists? Throw away that Igbo man ego. Our ego is too much. It is too much. Who are you? You are nothing but dust. You are just dust. You are nobody. You are dust. That's what you are. Can we throw that ego aside for once and fight for our life? Because what we are fighting now is no longer for freedom. We are fighting for our life. We are no longer fighting for freedom, for your information. We are fighting for our life. Because it's only somebody who is alive that will fight for freedom. If I ask you to go back to your father's compound from the UK, from Spain, from Poland, From Germany, would you? From South Africa, if I ask you to go back home, would you? Would you dare? Would you dare? I went home to go and bury my mother. Can you imagine? My own brothers and sisters called me and said, you know what they said to me? Are you out of your mind? Are you crazy? Are you stupid? I felt offended. I went to bury my mother as the first son. They say, can you imagine? It has gotten to that. It has gotten to that I, the first son of the family, cannot go home. That is how terrible it is. It is easy to talk here in South Africa. It is easy for me to talk to you here in South Africa freely. It is easy for you to talk back at me from wherever it is that you are. But it's not easy for me and you to go home and talk. No, not at all. And that is why God is going to kill any man, any woman, and their family and their generation, born and unborn, who dare try to destroy what we are doing, because our lives depends on it. You see what we are doing? Our life depends on it. I can kill you. I will commit murder if you try to destroy what we are doing, because this is my life. I have no other hope. I have no other hope than this. Not just my life, but the life of my children, the life of my unborn children. And you want to mess with it? I will commit murder in the first degree. I swear by my father's grave, I will kill you. For me to allow you to destroy this. Do you understand? I've labored. I was telling you about myself. I was telling you my story. I did everything. I did everything possible. At the end of the day, here I am in South Africa, Israel, all over the world, scavenging. That is the final title of a Biafran. Whatever it is that you do in Biafra, and when you are done, you go overseas and scavenge. God knows for how long you're going to be there. If Biafra don't come, some will even die in a foreign land and their body not brought back home if Biafra don't come. Do you understand? Do you understand? You wake up in the morning, you walk in a street of a white man. They look at you. They are so upset. They are angry. They can't understand for the life of them what the hell you are doing in their country. They want you out. They want you gone. But because of civilization, because of democracy, they can't tell you in your face, but they hate you with all passion. Do you know that? When have you sat down with a white man, wherever it is that you are, and have a decent conversation, lengthy conversation? The only conversation you have with white people is, hey, how's it, man? Hey, done, gone, he's gone, you're gone. Because it doesn't value you. Nobody values you if you are not in your country. Nobody values you if you leave your country and come to their country. Trust me, they don't value you. What the hell are you doing in my country? That is the question they keep asking themselves every time. They've approached me and said to me, Ike, when are you going back home? This is the question they ask me. When are you going back home? Now, I can't get upset with such a question. It is a decent question because they don't understand why I should abandon my own country and come to their own country. Does it mean I don't have a country? This is what Fulani planned for us. This is what they intended for us. And they've succeeded on that one. We are all gone, scavenging all over the world. And to us, we are happy. We are all over the world. And that is why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said this. Listen to what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said. For those of you who are jumping up and down because they are in overseas.
In hunger and in thirst, in nakedness and in need of everything, and I will put a yoke of iron upon your neck. I will destroy you completely. A nation will come against you from afar and from the ends of the earth, as swift as the eagle flies, and they will devour you. A nation whose language, English, you will not understand. They will destroy you completely. Is your language originally English? But I am the Lord your God. I will destroy you, that even your language will no longer know it. So says the Lord of hosts. A nation of fair countenance, which does not respect the elderly, Now show favor to the young, like the British. They will come after you. They will decimate you and they will destroy you. They will not give a damn about your old. They will eat your livestock and produce and leave you none. Everything you have, they are bound to take, and you will have nothing. You will be plucked off from your land, which you go to possess. Even your own land, they will take away from it and then take it from you. We are banned from even our own land, isn't it? Why is it that they will tell you, if you want to come to your land, you have to go through Lagos and through Kanu and Abuja. You can't even come into your own land. They want to discourage you from going back to the land of your ancestors. This is the funniest one. You will be scattered amongst all people, from one end of the earth to another. I will scatter you. Not even among nations, but among people. That is why wherever you go to, won't you find Biafrans there? It's a curse.
Did you hear that? Wherever you go, you will find Biafrans there. And it's a curse. For you, it's a blessing. I am sick and tired of people shouting, oh, we are everywhere. Everywhere you go, you don't see a Biafran man there. Pack your things and go. And I say, rubbish. It's a curse.
Is a curse. I will scatter you. Not even among people, ordinary people. Wherever there are people, you must be there. It's a curse I've placed upon you. There are some in China, they no longer go back home. And people are very happy living in other people's country because you have no shame. When I used to live in England, I used to feel ashamed all the time. I will go to look for a job that I know I am more than qualified to do. They will say, oh, due to one reason or the other, they will employ a white person. And somebody will say to me, why don't you write and protest? I say, no, I won't. It's not my country. Anything they like, they can do. Because we lack sense of pride and honor. I will scatter you amongst the peoples of the world. You were taken from everywhere to everywhere, and today you are worth nothing. And there you will bow before wooden gods that neither your ancestors have known. The God you were taught to know and love by white people is not the same Chukwuabiama you once worshipped. Everything in Emena is pure rubbish. And I said, I will preach this gospel. You know me, I preach the truth.
My goodness me, my people perish because of lack of knowledge. As I'm talking to you, I'm reading this post from Ebuka Samuel on Facebook Live. Just listen to what a child of Biafran is saying. Just listen. Just listen, and then you know exactly what is our problem. Ebuka Samuel said, but right now, we are the richest people in that zoological republic. Go to Lagos. Yorubas have sold everything they have to Igbos. Abuja too belong to Igbos right now, according to Erufai. Do you hear what somebody's saying? Are you listening to this man? Are you listening to this man? He's talking about people's land. He's not talking about his own land. He's bragging that he owns Lagos. He's bragging that he owns Abuja. Who did this to us? Who did this to us? Who did this to us? Look at what somebody's saying. That they own Lagos. That the Yorubas are selling everything to them. And then they own Abuja. Mbiarambia onenwala. I'm asking, Mbiarambia onenwala. Isn't that the same thing that happened in Port Harcourt when they declared abandoned property and stole all our things? Till today, did we get it back? Are you telling me because Yoruba sold all their property to you, Ebuka Samuel in Lagos, now you own Lagos? You are now a Lagosian. And now Abuja belongs to you. May God have mercy on us. May God have mercy on Biafrans. I tell you, if Biafra doesn't come soon, quicker, I don't know what will become of our generation. If Biafra don't come today, I don't know what will become of our generation. I pray that Elohim will release our leader. Grant him freedom, that he will be out as soon as possible. If there is any time we need Biafra, it is now. N'ihi na gịnị? Arịrị egbuola anyị. Arịrị egbuola otu nwa. Arịrị egbuola Biafrans. We have paid the price. We have paid, and we are still paying in the pool of our blood. Now it is worse. It is systematic extermination of Biafran people in their own land, in their pool of blood. My goodness me, when will it stop? Systematic extermination. That is what Fulani and Britain planned for us. And they are doing it right. They are doing it right. Let me stop here. I read Ebola.
I give black man freedom time. When I sing that kind of song, that for me story, for me heroes day. From freedom. Papa, where I nagile, you walk with the cabia, my Biafra. Ebola no me, Amra Chayelo, Biafra Gere, Lele na Wuga Mola no one, but your Ebola no go wow, Odomo Amo, Ebola no me, Amra Chayelo, Biafra Gere, Jano, I say Jano, Supreme Leader, children, I say, yeah. Remember when I'm saying God and I'm sound them, I say, what type of freedom? I say, remember when I'm old and I'm a body like Rastaman, I got injury time. I say, heaven come down, that glory come fill up my soul, because when at my cross, my Savior, come make me whole, Almighty Thou, as I'm living at a place, as I'm keeping at this place, praise of my life, as I'm living at a place, as I'm keeping at this place, giant creation, as I'm living at a place, as I'm keeping at this place, save my life, as I'm living at a place, as I'm keeping at this place, children, children, I say, he has done it again. Respect to the lion. I will say, Nnamdi lion for freedom. Yeah, for the heroes day. We can't forget respect. Onibe. Oh, I pray. Papa, where I nagile. Chukwoki ke kabia mabia kwa gereo. Ebola no me. Amra chayelo wabia kwa lele. Lele na Wuga Mola no one. Badala Boro no go wow. Otomo. Ebola no me. Amra chayelo wagere. On the Chada wagere. Kekero wabia wagere. Amaja hoso so Ebola no me. Amalo Amra chayelo wagere. I say, just shackling all the bad things, yeah, and separate them from the good, because the day of harvest is near. Almighty Thou, as I'm living at a place, as I'm keeping at this place, praise of my life, as I'm living at a place, as I'm keeping at this place, giant creation, as I'm living at a place, as I'm keeping at this place, save my life, as I'm living at a place, as I'm keeping at this place. Thank God the east and the tunnel filled. Under me Babylon who never live to see the rising of the sun. Almighty Thou, as I'm living at a place, as I'm keeping at this place, praise of my life, as I'm living at a place, as I'm keeping at this place, giant creation.
All right, we must continue. That is what I'm going to say. We must continue. We must move. Very, very important. And as you are continuing, as you are moving, if there is anybody who is standing in front of you, push him down. Push her down. Whether it's a he or she, somebody blocking you, push them down. One gawa. We are moving. So when we say we move, You need to understand what we move means. We move simply means nothing stopping us. If anything is trying to stop you, push that thing aside and continue. We cannot stop now because we must get Biafra. It has become a must, and that is exactly what we are going to do. So our lines are officially open. Trust me when I tell you that you are at liberty to call Mazi this morning because I am on early morning breakfast. This Sunday morning, of course, today is the the 3rd day of October 2021. It is the 3rd of October 2021. The time standing here at 10:38 a.m. Of course, it should be 9:38 a.m. in Biafra land, of course. 38 minutes past the top of the hour, wherever you are. Once again, my name is Mazi Kechukwu. I know how reaching you all the way from Johannesburg, the city of gold. And from Johannesburg, of course, I am cruising on altitude that is so high, my goodness me, to Biafra land, the land of the rising sun, the land where supposed to be flowing with milk and honey, but they are trying to turn it into a pool of blood. But we are going to win. We shall overcome. We definitely have to overcome. You can call me on WhatsApp. It is +27 740 678 412. +27 740 678 412 for the last time. My WhatsApp lines are +27 740 678 412. It is +27 740 678 412. This is our WhatsApp line. You can also call us on Skype because Radio Biafra SADC is on Skype. And our Skype IDs, you know now, it is Radio Biafra SADC. But don't forget that Radio Biafra is one word. It is Radio Biafra SADC. Let me ensure that the Skype line is on. Yes, let me try and put it on now because it wasn't on, but I'm going to just get it started. And then we will be ready to go. There we go. Our Skype lines are ready. Our WhatsApp lines are ready. And you just have to do the right thing. And what are the right thing to do? And that is to make that call so that we can interact this morning because it is Radio Biafra, for goodness sake. And that is what we do on Radio Biafra. We interact with Biafrans. We get Biafrans talking to get to know what is on their mind, what are they bringing to the table, because it is a platform for interaction. It is Radio Biafra, for goodness sake. We are the first, and of course, we are the last. There is none before us, and there is none after us. When we might have gone, we must continue, and we will be taking your calls. I don't know. Caller on WhatsApp, can you hear me? Caller on WhatsApp. Caller on WhatsApp. Go ahead, please. All right. He cannot hear me, and of course, he has dropped the call, and the lines are blastering. Of course, that's the way it should be. Caller on WhatsApp again. If you can hear me, go ahead. Caller on WhatsApp. My goodness me. Caller on WhatsApp, please don't keep on turning on your radio. Walk away from it or turn it down. I don't want to be hearing myself because all right, let me go to Skype and see who we have on Skype. Caller on Skype, good morning. Mazi Chukwudi Okike. Good morning. Mazi, caller on WhatsApp, on Skype. Yes, Skype. Unbelievable.
Hello, Mazi. Good
yes,
morning,
Mazi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Go ahead. You are not coming out louder. You're a bit in. Can you come out clearly, please?
Okay. Can you check your connection? It shows that it's ringing on your side. I don't know why it's...
Say it again?
Feedback.
I didn't hear that.
On the it gives feedback as if it's still ringing. It's not even connected. But
I'm not hearing what you're saying, Mazi. Are you saying that I am not coming out? I don't know. What are you saying?
That no, you're coming out, but on my side it shows that my phone is still ringing. I don't know if it's another.
No, but I'm talking to you now, Mazi.
But anyway.
Yeah, I'm talking to you now.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Go ahead, please.
Yes. Okay.
You know, I think it's the delay. The problem is the delay. You know, there's a delay between you and me.
Yes,
that's right. All right, go ahead. Let's do this.
Mazi, a very good morning to you. Obi ade mumba na this topic. Imana ihe mere na ikpaso na angu. You know, you have actually touched the bee. My father was a market master in Onitsha.
Mazi, I don't know if you've heard this song. Okay,
Yes, my brother.
so it's not me. It's Fulani and Britain.
Yeah.
Go ahead, please.
You have touched Biafrans this morning. I think I'm not sure if you're going to contend the call that you're going to get this morning. Like I was saying, my father was a market master in the market Onitsha in 1985. In that 1985, he had a problem with my mom, and then something went wrong. Do you know my mother started frying akara in front of 21 Fast Street?
My goodness me.
Odabo. And then
I used to sell aqua. I used to hawk aqua gas. Oh my God. Aqua gas can aqua.
Say Biafran, if you know what you're doing, you must make sure that Biafra come. I'm saying this story, I want to say now, this short story to all Biafrans. Please, if you are a woman, make sure that Biafra comes. If you are a mother, make sure you do everything within your power to make sure that Biafra comes. What did I do? I did nothing. Then being born as a Biafran.
That is your crime. That is the greatest crime. That is the greatest crime.
That is my crime.
Yeah, that is your crime.
My mother, my great for me, yakarato. My mother gave yakara ni soto to Uruku ga Ogbongo, Ebona Gegota bread. Our ladies now also our ladies also.
Yes, our ladies bread.
Got bread. Then sometimes here mechakwa ya jiri ukwu ba me market A and B isi ụtụtụ A and B isi ụtụtụ ka ha ga mamara ga-eburu na akpari na-eso ndị mmadụ then ndị mineral na-esi ya n'azụ ere ya very early in the morning in the market ụtụtụ. Now I wasn't my problem. Na mụ amechaziri sorozie kpawazie alimi ma ọ na-akpa nylon mbịa ndị market na-atụpụ shirt aha na-ekoe na that the shirt they are hanging. Remember those shirt they are hanging? The nylon that comes out of it.
Yes,
I
know.
Of the people who picks it up in the morning. When I picked up in the morning, I will go to HAUSA to sell it. For the people selling pepper.
What year was that? What year was that?
That was 96. 1986.
I was in the market. I was selling safari suit.
Thank you.
We used to.
So that Owen Kana Etienne and Millian Acha. That by Ibiana Kanabari. Whatever how would my problem started. Look at where my problem started. When I started going around picking this nylon, I went from safaris and other destiny. My Ghana send Dinelose na Ose. From there, we got them Msurun de Marotowaji. Iputaneba Ijani Shasaba cross. And I help people to be part of the group that will be throwing yam from the river Niger up to the market because we stand line by line. When I was picking up nylon is when I started picking up radios that is damaged. This man that you see here, Mazi Chukodi, we are here in South Africa. I say to you, Elohim,
Mazi,
bless you for this topic.
I need to see you. I need to see you in person. I need to see you.
This topic you were trekita, I bela makwara. Man, to radio, radio. I have to take a radio. One of the radio that I pick in the rubbish. Put it in a box. Try to get L to L. Ebe wire cut, macho wire also. Ebe mgekedi eridi. I'm looking at radio, maybe raw radio, without knowing what I was doing at that time. My mother saw what I was doing. My mother said the best thing I should do is to take this my son to school. My mother I went to him school, technical school na Summer Hill. One technical school do na Obosi eba. Number eba come from Francis. My mother I went to Nabida. Or the too far. What I was able to do on Oreze. Oreze Street. Up before CCB Bank. That is where I was staying with my mother, going to school, trekking from Oda to Obosi Technical School. It was what I was doing until at a time. My mother was crying. I was exhausted. My father, so-called my father, was not helping any matter. All the scientists that was in my head, I convert so many things that I can. If I start talking about it, people cannot call Radio Biafra today. I was born an engineer. If you can see what I did when I was 14, 15 years old, 13, 12 years old, you will marvel on this particular guy.
Unbelievable.
I'm technical school, I have no money to proceed to pursue my career on what I read for. Magawa boy in 1991. I went to serve my uncle. From there, too much but no. There's a spirit in me that could not allow me. This is not my place.
Yes.
It is not my place. I was jittering. How can I become who I want to be? I end up becoming a conductor. From there, my uncle, he came from one place to another. Maland there myself in South Africa. Why am I saying this? My brother in Johannesburg. Yes. Look at millions of our people in Lindela. Look at our people that are in the street. This morning, do you know some of our men that are here in South Africa are staying with a woman, selling their vagina to feed them as their wife? Do you know that some of our people, more than 3,000 of them are sleeping in the street in a bar?
Mazi.
Do you know some of them don't even know where to wash their clothes?
Mazi,
do you know that we have been scattered all over the world, destroyed?
Mazi Chukwudi. I'm going to say this to you and also say it to Biafrans. The reason why I'm studying law, and God help me, the reason why I'm studying law is because of our people in jail in South Africa. The reason why I'm studying law is because of our people in jail in South Africa. There are thousands of Biafrans in jail in South Africa because there is nobody to speak for them. Nobody to speak for them. I tell you, if we can have, a lot of Biafrans, and when I say Biafrans, I mean real Biafrans who are lawyers. Of course, we can take pro bono on them and do it for your brother and do it for the cause of your freedom. This is the reason why I am studying law. And by the grace of God, we are going to get them out. Thank you very much.
My brother, the last thing that I'm about to say, I am talking to you. If you can see me on video call, tears are dropping from my eye that these people have destroyed.
They have.
And a Biafran man don't support to suffer.
They have.
Any governor, anybody
succeeded.
that says that he's doing politics and is telling you that we need a job, we don't need any job. We are born to be the greatest people on the surface. So I've traveled so many places, Lesotho and the rest of them. I've never seen a people like Biafrans. Whoever that you see that talk against IPOB or Biafra, we need to go home.
Thank you.
We have suffered enough.
Thank you,
we have suffered enough. Biafrans, wake up, let's go home. We need to go home. Mazindewo, thank you. You provoked me this morning. You've made me cry already.
It is good. It is good. It is good. Remember, it is good, my brother, sometimes for us to be provoked. Thank you very much. It is good. The Bible says that a prodigal son, one day he woke up and he said, "What am I doing here? My father is rich. My land is rich. And here I am feeding among pigs. It is time for me to go home." And dear friends, it is time for us to go home. That I can tell you, it is time for us to go home. I don't know for the life of me how long that we want to stay scavenging in another man's land, scavenging in another man's country. We have gone through, you know what? What we are going through in overseas is not even half of it. What we have gone through in Biafra land before we even traveled. You compare them with what we are going through now. I ask you for how long? Let's get Biafra so that we can go back home. All right, let me.
Cause I know my room. I know 50 lose the love for them. I'm unstoppable, my people unstoppable. We keep on moving forward. We keep on grinding. Freedom for my people. Freedom for my nation. Free Mazi and Kanu. We have gone a long way. No going back. We are too big to fall. No. Nothing fit to stop us. My people demand freedom. Should be not cry to ask for your right. Ask for your right. I will take you to let me know. We know they do the same thing. We know they go the same way. We don't carry the same language from battle. Free me, make I do my thing. Freedom for my people. Freedom for my nation. Free Mazi and Kanu. Freedom for my people. No. Yeah. We don't pay for the struggle. So many people don't go there for the struggle. It's hard time to get our right. All we have for our freedom. We can never stop. Biafra is a spirit. Let me soon away the flood. Freedom for my people. Freedom for my nation. Free Mazi and Kanu. Freedom for my people. Freedom is the praise.
Get it online on your mobile. This is IPOB Community Radio, Radio Biafra, the first and the last.
All of you, from the head of our DOS, Mazi to the very last unit coordinator, for all the wonderful work that you all did in my enforced absence. You never allowed yourselves to be cowed. You did not allow yourselves to be intimidated. You fought very gallantly to ensure that IPOB remains the preeminent freedom fighting movement anywhere on this very planet Earth. I have a lot to thank all of you for, because you kept the flame burning. We remember those that fell. Every day I remember them, and I hope also that every day all of you must remember them, because they laid down their lives for us, and we must accomplish Biafra for their sake, and the sake of our children, even those who are not born yet. We must remain resolute, very determined, uncompromising and unforgiving in our quest to restore Biafra in truth and in every honesty. I must ask each and every one of you, wherever you are, to search your hearts and to search your souls wherever you are, to understand the essence of IPOB and what we are doing. As I said previously, this is not a broadcast for the whole world, it's just for the IPOB family. Some of us have forgotten what it means to be IPOB, because during my enforced absence, most of us went astray. Although some people started from when I was in detention, it is very, very important that we keep this very flag flying, that we do not follow the trap set for us by our enemies, because a lot of things happened whilst I was away. Some people fell by the wayside, Some people felt that perhaps the zoo has something to offer them, and some people collaborated with the enemy, not just to kill us, but to attempt to set the clock of restoration backwards. But thanks to the grace and mercy of the Most High, Chukwukika Biama, they did not succeed. Once again, I welcome each and every one of you, and especially those of you that have been working exceptionally hard to make sure that we stayed on this very course towards our restoration. A lot has happened. When I think about it, sometimes it brings tears to my eyes. Surprisingly and shockingly, not a lot of people were up to this very job, which is rather extremely sad. Being an IPOB is a very unique privilege. A very unique privilege for you to be an IPOB family member. It's a rare honor. When we call each other Umu Chineke or Nwa Chineke, it is a very unique privilege, not an entitlement. Only the pure at heart can be called Nwa Chineke. Not everybody you meet on the street is entitled to be called that very name. IPOB is a very special breed of people. We have come that we may restore Biafra, and there is nothing the zoo and their allies can do about it. We remain the bravest of the very brave. Cowards run away when they see us. From the day I arrived in the zoo exactly 4 years ago, minus 1 week, because I arrived in the zoo on the 14th of October in the year of our Lord 2015. I told them that I was coming, and I came. Some people within some segments of the media were writing a whole lot of junk about us, that we are just on Facebook, that I'm in London. They dared me to come back, and I told them to come back, and I told them that I was coming home, and I did, come home. When I arrived, I was arrested. I was taken to Abuja. I was confined to a very tiny space. I was chained like a common criminal. I was handcuffed. They tried to break me, but they know that that is impossible. They can attest to it. They mocked me that I will rot in jail. Some prayed very fervently, those who are against Biafra, agents of darkness, that I should die in jail. But the walls of prison and detention couldn't keep me. I told Jubril, now, or should I say Buhari, before he died and was buried in Saudi Arabia, that he was a madman. I called him a madman in his own court because I know that he cannot do anything about it. Chukwukika Biama sent me and not man, so there is nothing any human being can do to me or to the wider body of IPOB for that matter. I told the court of Bintan Yako that they cannot jail me, and they did not. I called the dead Buhari, an illiterate madman, in his own court, and I walked away. They mocked me after I came out of prison, even those that I'm older than, even the age mates of my first son, Nemeka. Maybe because of the way I look, they will say, what these young men are doing. Apart from maybe 4 or 5 people in Ohanese, I am older than every other Ohanese executive member. Then when you hear them talk about me and IPOB, you will think we're a bunch of teenagers. I don't blame them. They're a product of a dysfunctional system. They gave me very stringent bail conditions. I hope IPOB family members are listening very quietly, because what I have to tell you is extremely important. So you must pay attention. They gave me the bail conditions so that I wouldn't speak, so that I cannot rally, to muzzle me, so that I'll just be in my father's house and then go to court once in a while. The same thing they did to the now state developer in nowhere. I told them, no, you cannot cage me. You cannot muzzle me. It's not possible. I went out and I defied every stupid restriction placed on my person so that IPOB can be alive and our restoration of Biafra well on course. The powers that be didn't like it. Their Igbo collaborators did not like it. Some of them in government houses did not like it. Ohaneze didn't like it because I said no to voting in Anambra. And I have my reasons and I'll go to that later. Obiano said I shouldn't come to Ekulobia, that he will kill me with the Zoo army. We broke Ekulobia. Devuma, he said I shouldn't come to Ebonyi. I went to Ebonyi with the longest convoy in history. As I was entering Abakaliki, part of our convoy was still in Enugu. We broke the cordon. 6 fortified military checkpoints. I got down from my vehicle and I walked through all of them. I begged them to shoot me. We went into Abakaliki and we shot Abakaliki down. When we got to the front of the government house, I asked my driver to stop so I can greet some of the people working for Devumahi to let them know that Ebonyi is Biafra. After our rally, on my way out of Abakaliki, they stopped me again and asked me to turn around. And I told them that it would not happen. We broke that very cordon too, and we got home safely that very evening. I went to Obibo. In Iguacha, we locked Iguacha down for 6 hours. There was no movement. Yes, Wike did not ask army to kill me. He never tried to intimidate me nor to molest me. We rallied peacefully as we normally do, and we went back home. Ohaneze and the Igbo governors got together and said this cannot continue. That Nnamdi Kanu is heating up the polity. They decided to kill me. It was these men that physically applied to Asarok to have me killed. They couldn't do it. After all, Buhari was dead, buried in Saudi Arabia. When Jibril came back, a lot of Igbo men that call themselves politicians and political leaders arranged for me to be assassinated. They pleaded and pleaded and pleaded. Because our 30th of May celebration, our sit at home last year was successful. That led those Alamajiri youths, I don't know where they got them from, to issue a quit notice at the instigation of Arewa Consultative Forum. Our people must listen very carefully. Arewa Consultative Forum pressured Niamud and Ohaneze and Southeast governors to do something about me. When they talk about me, they don't tell you the truth. I was the one that went to Waldo's house when he was in the USA to look for him, to greet him. I went with Evangelist Eliotuko. I went back again when he returned, and we had very sumptuous lunch together. And I told him that this is what I stand for. I want Biafra because of all the maltreatment, because of all the humiliation, because of all the shame that Nigeria over the years have compelled us to go through as a people, that I cannot take it anymore. I want to be free and I want to die a free man. He asked me, what do I intend to do? And I told him, most respectfully, that I will engage in civil disobedience. I will boycott every boycottable until the zoo accedes to my demand for a referendum. That I won't fight anybody. He said it's okay, but I should consider an umbrella election. I told him no. We've been voting since 1953, if I'm not mistaken. What has come of it? Absolutely nothing. The zoo, as a contraption, instead of going forwards, is always going backwards every blessed year. Things are getting more difficult. Our children are dying in the Mediterranean, they're drowning. Our daughters have nobody to marry them because most of our men, our brothers, our uncles, our cousins are in severe difficulties abroad. Some are in jail, some are struggling. Some will have to marry somebody from that very country where they are domiciled to be able to get their papers. Nobody is interested in our sisters back home. And I told Chief Ward that I cannot go through life like this. I cannot tolerate this any longer. That something must give way. That I have no interest in being the leader of Biafra. I have no interest in politics. All I want is for our people to be free. I explained to him very calmly and with respect. We took pictures, we had lunch, and we went away. They went behind my back to plan to kill me when I did nothing wrong to them. They came to my house, as we all know, on the 14th of September of last year, to kill me and every living being in my house. I don't know if Britain is involved, but when I return to the UK, we shall find out. Okay, Zia Yibazo, Devo Mahi, Nia Wardo, had their statements prepared for my obituary. They had gone to plan with the traditional rulers of all the other geopolitical zones in the zoo to come down to address Biafrans on why my death was a good thing for our people. Go through Okezie Ibazu's statements, it's all there and self-evidently so. The Ohanese and Igbo political class, Southeast governors, used Fulani military apparatus to try and assassinate me the same way they've been doing, as they did in Aba, Tumpo, Shenugu, Igbocha, in Aba. All we are asking for is for our freedom. But Igbo men that claim they are politicians brought death to us. When you ask them, but what wrong have we done? They say we are heating up the polity. That's all. We've explained to them time and time again, we want to be free. Perhaps some of you are comfortable being are not retreating. We cannot surrender. It is either Biafra or we die getting Biafra. Mind you, it was these semi-Igbo politicians that crafted my bail conditions. Some of you do not know. They wanted to cage IPOB the same way they caged Masop and rendered it useless through financial inducements and military intimidation. Even those that claim they're part of the intelligentsia, when they go to Abuja, they lose their voice, they cannot speak on behalf of our people. They are humiliated day after day for daring to demand what is right for their people. The only time that they have anything tangible to say to us is every 4 years during the time to vote. But come next year, we will tell these corrupt politicians that Biafra land belongs to Biafrans. All we're interested in is freedom, our liberty as a people, equity and fairness. That we will never, ever, ever negotiate away. If indeed, as we know, that IPOB is fighting for all the things that I've elucidated above, why is it that Ohanes and Igbo and some Igbo governors would like to have me killed? Why do they want me
Everybody dead? That is going to listen to this video and the whole of...
Therefore, on the day you will come, you will see it. Even if you come, you will see that the Biafrans have rejected everything that has to do with the zoo. We have rejected the zoo 1,000,000 times more than 100 years back ago. And we will continue to reject it until we